So in the larger context of this, it's 5 billion a lot.
So my thinking is always, we all don't have to be fund managers. Some people can run poultries. The whole idea is that, it is a situation whereby the good will rise to the top. Let the market play. Because what we're trying to do is trying to control market forces because it is, maybe our pockets are too small. We are rolling out infrastructure in 36 states of the country plus the FCT. You can't come into that with 100 million naira. You'll be swallowed up in the first 2 months. You need to be able to ride the wave before the profit hits the curve.
Rather than sell, is it possible for bank holding companies to start to list their subsidiaries as well?
If your bank is recapitalized, I can judge you on your return on equity, and I can believe your equity is actually equity, right? Because you've had forbearance, you've taken your NPLs out, in theory, and you have raised cash. Let those results show. Let people see your return on equity. Why should your book value be conflated when actually we're counting your equity in the PFA and we're counting your equity elsewhere, whatever? Make it clear and simple.
I don't know if so even locally, I don't know many stockbroking firms that their apps are working efficiently.
Less than one.
As of today.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no
Very
reason.
few. My God, the day I go off on trading apps, and I'm going to do that very soon. I'm telling you guys, all of these stockbrokers apps, I'm coming for all of you. It is absolutely
and it's
terrible.
lost
Terrible.
revenue. It's lost revenue because you have the fintech.
Hello everyone, welcome to Drinks and Mics, brought to you by Nairametrics. My name is Ugodre, and I'm back. For those who think I was those who think they can just take my spot. I saw some of your comments, in the comment section. Those of you thinking Tunji should just be here. Sorry to disappoint you all. I am back. All right, so guys, we've got the usual gang in the house today, and we've got two very important guests. So I'm gonna start as usual with let me just introduce the gang first. That's what I do. Of course, I got on my extreme right, my very, very younger junior brother, Mr. Tunji Andrews. Very younger junior.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Forget about what you see, forget about the looks, the muscles and all that. He's very younger brother to me. Yeah, and of course I got Sir Arnold Dublin Green, soon to be chief, small chief, by the way. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, he's in the house today. Of course, we got two special guests in the house. On Drinks and Mine, you know how we do things. We bring it loaded, and these are people with different perspectives. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, but one, as you can see, to the left of Arnold is Aum Thacker, and of course, we also got my very good Oga here, Babatunde Dada. So let's start with you, Babatunde. What do you do?
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here, and I don't know if Happy New Year is in order.
It is. It is. I mean, January what now?
21st.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that Trump.
Yeah,
in the year of Trump.
Exactly.
It's like a year already.
It's equal to 365. So a lot has happened.
The year of Trump.
Once again, thank you. So I'm Babatunde Dada, like he said. I'm the MD of Nolt Finance Company Limited. Nolt Finance is a CBN regulated entity, and we're into lending to SMEs.
So you have money? Is that Lawrence?
No, we're going to talk a lot about lending and credit.
I think today's a big credit episode, which I love.
Hi guys, good evening. Aum here. I'm with TLG Capital. We also lend. We lend dollars. We lend naira in the markets here in Nigeria as well as across Africa. And we have done a few transactions here in Nigeria, since really the last 10, 15 years. So even, the gantries, when you go to Murtala Muhammad, the JC the Coco gantries, we funded those in 2018.
Wow.
Even a few years ago, we're here with our investors this week. So we had some people that came down. We took them up to Otta yesterday to see a factory that we funded. And we've also been in town on the island, all that kind of stuff. So it's been
incredible stuff. To think you and I have been chatting for years, but we never met. We've always planned to meet.
We did once. We went once in Maliki.
Oh yes.
Exposing
I
the
remember. Oh my
Miliki.
God!
What's Miliki? How do I know what Miliki is? What is Miliki? What were you doing there?
The kind of spots you gotta find me. Jesus Christ. Anyways, so we're gonna just pretend like you didn't hear that. We will start right away. What a week it's been already. I mean, I don't want to dwell too much on geopolitics because I don't know. Tunji and Otuma kind of bastardized that last week. I mean,
y'all love it, right?
On and on and on.
You know, I saw it in the comments.
Especially Tunji's dead opinions. I mean, his right-wing MAGA opinions that he brought on set.
I had con, so
well, it's all good. Yeah.
Show the MAGA face cap.
Yes. I got him. I'm sure he probably got more as well. But I mean, it was all about Greenland and stuff. As much as Greenland was in the news, just wanted to catch your views, guys. Maybe I want to start with you, Arnold. I mean, any implication for the markets in general? Because I mean, politicians will do their politics, right? But what does this all mean for markets in general and for, like, people say, you know, deglobalization or the rupture of what was it? I kind of called it again, rupture of
the New World Order. He also talked about the New World Order,
something like that. So,
yeah,
I mean, as an investor, are you worried about what's going on?
So it has a lot of implications, like a lot of implications. I mean, starting with Trump's speech today, I haven't seen that much volatility across several asset classes while Trump was speaking, right?
He kind of de-escalated stuff, though. At least he said he's not bombing.
Well, I don't know.
He's not taking it by force.
I mean, I heard, what did I hear? I heard interest rates needs to be lower, power needs to go, the Chinese are crooks, the Europeans are weak. What else did I hear? I mean,
I didn't hear it. I was in traffic.
You know, but if you look at asset prices, one of my favorite assets, which is gold. We saw gold start the week at 4,500, and now today he's looking at 4,900 at some point. I won't be surprised if it crosses 5,000 by the end of the week. Precious metals, equities all over the place. Post Greenland, Nasdaq, DAX, the German index, hitting years low and then rallying up again while Trump was speaking. The volatility was intense. But one thing I noticed, and I talked about this in previous episodes, is we're really seeing markets become very political, and to get direction. Even while Trump was speaking, one of my clients called and just asking, okay, what are you buying this year? What are you not buying? And I just said, listen, just listen to the speeches, right? Yeah. And you can see where the world is going. You can see the Europeans moving towards the east because of this tariff, because of Greenland, and then tariffs. You can see oil just sort of staying where it is for the rest of the year. So the implications are massive, and it's a whole episode to kind of go into it. But one thing I can say is, we as investors, we need to now start listening to politicians more than ever. Carney called it talked about a new world order, also referring to the Chinese. So you're seeing the West go to the East. So it's almost like this block getting formed versus America. And as an investor, you have to pay attention and sort of go with the flow. You're seeing Europeans sort of looking, NATO sort of thinking about war, and you're seeing war spending, war budget going up. As an investor, I'm looking at the defense sector. So I mean, to me it feels and it seems obvious. So just listen to the politicians, pay attention, and you can kind of see the direction and the flow of money and take your money that way.
All right, Anthony, what's your views?
Well, so I guess what Arnold is saying is like momentum trading, but I think some of the companies, they're still like good fundamentals, which is why there's a bit of resilience despite the madness. So what you've seen since 2025 is a situation where, you know, when Trump comes out and just makes like an arbitrary statement about something, like he's going to impose tariffs on goods from everywhere else, you know, the market reacts for a few weeks and then it starts to recover. And well, last year was mainly driven by the AI stocks anyway. But I think the market has sort of understood him, and maybe now even they're overstanding him. That okay, you know what? What happens is, you know, it depends on how he's feeling at this point in time, and as long as some of these, you know, stocks markets still have solid fundamentals, because I think fundamentally the companies, the assets, they're still somewhat solid, right? We're in earnings season now in US, and at least so far, I think what we've seen with some of the companies, that they're solid. But of course, what you get is a lot of volatility because of the geopolitics and Trump and everything he's doing. So, for me personally, I'm an equities guy, so I still tend to, in the long term, tend to still hold. But for the first time this year, I started investing in gold after listening to Arnold last year, September. I think,
Are you happy? You're a better man for it.
yes, exactly. So yeah, I think that's where I stand.
All right. What do you think? Tackle Trump, or should we be worried? I mean, everybody said tackle, and all of a sudden Trump hits Venezuela, and it was like, ooh, this guy really sometimes can mean what he says. So, are you worried at all?
Look, it depends. I think this is the point you guys are making. It depends if you're trading or holding, or like what you're looking to do, right? So, I mean, my day job as a firm, we lend money to businesses in Africa. Now, I think it was Charlie Robertson, the macro economist, who put out a really good report after the tariffs happened, saying actually these don't matter that much for Africa. I mean, they matter a bit, but they don't matter that much. And we were with some investors this week, and there's some guys from South Africa who sell hake. So they sell fish. They have 7 different SKUs from the same fish, because you gut some, you fillet some, you make fish fingers with others, etc. And they were selling kosher fish. So their markets were New York and Israel. 25% tariff goes in South Africa. They have to find other buyers. So some businesses have been directly affected.
Yeah.
But I think when you're lending, and depending on the kinds of businesses that you're lending to, you're naturally a little bit more conservative, and you're naturally thinking about the long run, which is definitionally in places like Africa, you're thinking about more than one election cycle. So if you're already trying to do that, then you're hedging for political risk in some ways through the ways that you're, sourcing and selecting opportunities. Now, you may still have very cyclical exposure. For instance, if you look at stuff like aviation and oil and gas, etc., these can be a lot more cyclical than other sectors. But again, I think it depends if you're trading or not. If you're trading, then you just trade volatility. And that's been the gold trade. That's been, buying puts on QQQ or whatever it might be that allows you to make money during a Jerome Powell speech or a Trump speech or whatever. But I think, to bring the conversation back to Africa in some ways, it doesn't matter thematically what you think the price of a barrel of oil will do. If you're investing in the UK, as I was, and you see that Seplat is dual listed, that was a good buy 18 months ago, regardless of the price of oil.
Yeah.
Because that is a carve out from a multinational under a lockbox for 3 years, where you've got retained earnings, and the next quarter earnings will go up by 200%.
Of course.
So depending on what you're looking to do, even in the most cyclical of sectors that are inherently the most affected by what Trump does, there are still good trades, right? And there are still good businesses that you can buy.
And so that's what investors really should be doing. Really, just look beyond what you see now, and then cherry pick the sort of assets that you should invest in. But Tunji, there's a new wave going on, and that's I think it's called the poly market. Basically, taking bets off what's going on. Like, I don't know. What do you think? Is it?
You know what I think we should do first before you answer that, Tunji? I think the poly market should bet on Tunji's watches.
Yeah.
So what watches is he going to wear today? Is he going to wear red or blue shoes?
like, what's going on there though? Like, I mean,
so volatility will always the volatility around different markets is finding expression.
Cheers.
Really,
Cheers to your
we do
wristwatch.
know that the crypto market has continued to. It's been trying to rebound. It's not. It's not succeeding. It's I think Bitcoin came up to about 94 or so. It's now dipped again. It's not come back to those strong highs. So people with a lot of time on their hands will look for something to do. And it's just.
So if you were to bet, like, which side will you be on? Trump taking Greenland,
So he has a problem. And I think I don't really understand what the standoff is about.
Really? You think that
There's
America should take it over?
So the alternative.
Is this what happened last week?
So just taking a step back, Tunji.
So the alternative is Denmark, right? The alternative is Denmark.
okay.
Not really take it over, but protect. The alternative is Denmark. The problem with that is that particular corridor is far too important, and I'm not entirely sure. Have you seen the size of the military the EU coalition sent to Greenland?
It's almost like
it's less than 20. Less than 20 people.
Like
so the question is, are you really serious, or is this political grandstanding? Now, we still don't fully understand Trump's reason for
Some
wanting
people are saying he
this.
wants to take Canada. I mean, I don't know whether we can say it.
No, I don't think so. But if you look at and there's been a lot of if you're one of the conspiracy theorists, there are a few movie clips that are going around to explain what why this is where this should be this. But yes, it is still a very important corridor. Everybody uses there for ships, trade routes, for one, but it's also a very important route in terms of access to the US. And they say the waterways are significantly huge. You could miss a lot of things if you don't have significant presence there. What I still don't understand in this entire conversation is the US had a strong military presence before Trump came in.
Yeah, correct.
Trump wound down that military presence. Greenland has not said don't have the military presence here. They are more than happy to have you around because it's protection. So what I don't really understand is Trump's game, if there is a game, but I think that's where they should have a conversation.
Should he be worried as an investor or businessman looking at what's going on globally? No.
So I think Arnold saying to listen to the politicians is very important, but I also think the politicians have said all they need to say.
So
everybody that is pro-Trump is pro-Trump.
Is this really how
the world is going to be?
Is this really how businesses feel? Because I kind of feel businesses are looking at everything that's good and are like, you know what? You guys just go.
They've gotten tired,
and then we just continue doing our business. Is that like the posture out there now?
I think so. I think businesses still have to do business, but of course, things like this would affect maybe their costs, because when prices spike up for whatever reason, there's disruption to their supply chains or whatever happens. So they have to pay attention to that basically, because that affects their inputs, logistics wise or whatever. So, but there'll still be consumption, there'll still be production, there'll still be commerce. That needs to happen. As long as there's civilization, those things will happen.
Are we going to see? A complete reorder when it comes to supply chain across markets. I was reading, I think it was an article on, nairametrics, of course. Yeah. So we're actually we're looking at China's BRI spend, and Nigeria came tops.
Okay.
So, is there going to be some kind of realignment where you start to see, businesses that are rearranging their supply chains and they're saying, rather than have this whole globalized world, because globalization, as we know it, was basically, I want to manufacture this, it's probably best to do this in China, best to do this in Canada, it's best to assemble it here and all that. So, are we now going into a world where they'll change supply chains, or they will localize supply chains? Where do you think this is going to go? Because don't you think that's going to happen?
I guess the question is like realignment for who? Because so you have at the sovereign level, like one of the most successful francophone countries that we've looked at in the last year or two is Benin, right? If you look at the Wemu zone and the BRVM, the stock exchange, everyone's very excited about Benin Republic. But one thing they're doing there, which is what we've tried to do across West Africa as governments, is localize their pharmaceutical manufacturing. Right? They're like, we're importing too much stuff, we need to make it locally, whatever.
Yeah.
That's then the realignment is, is the equipment going to come from India or China or where? You have in the energy sector this bunkered oil that leaves West Africa and Nigeria. A lot of it ends up in Europe that has insecurity because, again, they're very reliant upon Russia. So you will have, maybe a realignment from the energy perspective, from offtake, these LNG projects. I used to live in Mozambique. It was very interesting seeing who'd offtake what where. But the traders will still, like Vitol and Trafigura and Mercuria and Glencore, they will still be themselves.
Exactly.
Right? These guys are not loyal to any sovereign state. They're loyal to P&L, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, when there's a realignment, okay, fine. It will be interesting to see if the President Tinubu visits Paris or if he visits Beijing or Abu Dhabi or whatever.
Yeah.
But like for the businesses that we back, right? And for the essential things that we need, like if you need rice, if you need flour, if you need to trade stuff or move stuff, or if you're making things or selling products, I don't think it matters. Like if you're a business owner, you'll read it in the news like everyone else and you'll talk about it at dinner like everyone else. But I can't say it would necessarily impact the capital allocation decisions you make substantially.
But one thing that is interesting, and I'm probably speaking maybe from a consumer perspective and maybe a retail business perspective, is and something we've always said is the Chinese. China makes the same thing. China's come to say this, and I'll make the same thing the West is making, but cheaper. Right. I spoke about this AI glasses that I bought. That's 10% of the price of Meta.
$60 actually. You want to tell me?
That's like $600. Right? So it's 10% of the price.
I just want you to say that.
But it does, and I don't want to. I'm not trying to.
In case you guys see,
I'm not trying to sell any. But it's just but it's. I'm absolutely blown away. And for me, it's
hold on. Otumba wears this $600 glasses and things like it's cool. But we've got a better one, $60.
And it records longer.
Same thing.
And for me, it's like it's for someone living in a country whose currency is devalued by 70%. This is my product.
Right.
This is my product. I'm not trying to buy Meta. I don't care.
Yeah.
I care about how much is left in my pocket
or the kind
after.
of wristwatches Stunji wears,
Or the kind of
things he wears.
You know,
just go for made in Nigeria and stuff. Like,
Is that made in Nigeria?
I don't understand.
I don't think so.
What?
I mean,
This is made in Nigeria.
But
this is made in Nigeria.
No,
This
but
is also
he
made in
has
Nigeria.
said it though. It's about the economics of business survival for anyone. I really don't care what Trump or Macron says. It's if I'm trying to buy water for my organization and it needs water, and the cheapest place to get water is in China, I will go to China and buy water. It's just as simple as that.
So basically, this whole tariff thing, essentially just upends supply and monotony. Or, being one. So essentially, if America hikes tariff for France, all of a sudden champagne and wine is expensive, okay, then I'll just go to South Africa and buy my wine. Is that what you guys are saying?
But no,
So
that's
just
not
look-
what it means. That's not what it means. That's not what it means.
Champagne has to come from France.
Are you sure?
Let's stop that.
Anyway, let's move on. Something else. So
Because he's not going to go anywhere else to buy his own whiskey, so I don't understand why he's asking. Are you going to go and buy your whiskey for Warri?
but
I don't
Indian
understand.
whiskey is good though.
No,
Yeah.
Try Indian
Yeah.
whiskey.
Warri
Yeah.
too has
Yeah.
whiskey.
I don't know why we don't know
Warri
whiskey.
has whiskey,
We
yeah.
know it's not as refined as we expect. We have good palm wine though. Nigeria has good palm wine.
Yeah.
I like that.
Anyway, Nigerian palm wine is good. I don't know why we've not been able to.
Indian
we've not
whiskey,
found a way
I've not
to,
tasted that. I
There's
just-
like a
I
few
just-
single malts that have like one of them, the Umrits and Indri, and they've
Yeah.
scored like 97 points on
Yeah.
I just got into Japanese
malt.
whiskey. So
Japanese, good as well.
Really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Really good stuff. Right.
All right, before I turn this
Indian
into
whiskey next.
a whiskey show, during the week or late last week though, we got what most market operators would call a bombshell. The Security and Exchange Commission, Nigeria SEC, issued new minimum capital requirements, and it really got a lot of operators kind of spooked, right? And initially, I think there was this 10% minimum capital, 10% of AUM as minimum capital, even though they eventually corrected it to 0.1%. And for example, the increased capital for brokers handling client trades from 200 million naira to 600 million. Dealers, that's broker dealers, from 100 million to a billion, that's tenfolds. Broker dealers combine, so if you're combining 2 billion, fund and portfolio managers 2 billion, between 2 to 5 billion, of course, depending on the kind of what tier you belong to. Issuing houses on underwriters. I've always said it, like, how can you be an underwriter and you don't underwrite anything? But anyway, 7 billion. Yeah,
7
underwriters,
billion, right?
7 billion,
7
up to
underwriters.
7
For issuing
billion, actually,
houses,
up to 7 billion. Trustees and registrars, 2 billion. Oh my God, you have a lot of registrars who don't need to be registrars, by the way. A whole lot of them, 2 billion. And then digital assets and fintech operators, 100 million, between 100 million to 2 billion. I mean, like, it's huge. In fact, large asset managers, large managers can be seen, up to 0.1% of their AUM. I'm going to come to the folks here to make their own comment frame, but let me start with you. What you think about recapitalizing a very important aspect of this whole value chain of
don't forget ratings agencies, 500.
Oh, rating agencies too.
500.
Yeah. I even thought
that's an interesting one because I think people will know ratings agencies, right? So that's where the name is important. Where if you have a GCR, Augusta, or whatever, the long tail will not win or lose any more market share depending on whether they're capitalized or not. It'll be recognition, I think, and marketing and talent. But I mean, maybe a question for you guys: a yes or no? Does anyone disagree with the recapitalization of the banks that happened?
Of the banks?
I never did. I mean,
I think it makes it's.
I
understand.
He's asking my man. You're asking in hindsight.
I understand. I understand.
Are you asking in hindsight or now?
And who cried when they said retained earnings shouldn't be counted? And who cried when
we
they
know
did all of these things?
we know who
did whatever.
but they are not here. They're not here.
This market, I mean, whether or not you believe the $1 trillion by 2030 thing, the point in my view still stands that under the previous regime, in fact, maybe even 10 years ago, you had a Naira at 150 or 300.
Yeah.
Right now, you have a Naira at 1700, whatever it is, 1400. And you have an economy that, in dollar terms, market caps have shrunk. Yes, the NGX might be up 60 or 100 or whatever percent, but dollar market caps have shrunk. Right? So this is the opportunity at a generational bottom, right, where you've seen amazing deals like the Tolerant Guinness deals, the carve-outs, the acquisitions. People are buying stuff. People are active. Locals are comfortable reaching into their own pocket to acquire really good assets, where I think having a strong and robust financial services sector is important. Now, does this propose an unfair advantage to the tier one names? Sure. And like, as a firm, do we benefit from that? Yes, we run a Naira fund alongside FCMB Asset Management, who are licensed by SEC. And we're a technical advisor to that fund. We raised $10 billion in the first ever private credit fund for Nigeria. And we're raising $20 billion right now.
Ooh,
so is that going to help us? Sure. But ARM just entered the market. And plenty of other people who could enter the market have not entered the market. And so if you're really trying to, what this signals to me is that serious things are ahead. Because you've got 20 to 30 trillion Naira sitting in long-term liabilities or whatever that was when I last checked PenCom maybe a year ago. What is it, 70-80% of that sitting in government securities, right? If you want to be serious about investing into infrastructure, opening up alternatives, making sure that people are making informed financial decisions, so random penny stocks are not coming for an open offer, but serious businesses represented by serious people are, and that your trades are done properly, etc., fine, then like, I mean, sure, I know what we're talking about in billions is a lot. We're talking about a 20-30 trillion dollars worth of liabilities. I think the numbers that you said at the before don't seem big enough.
But some claim that. Let me come to Arnold. I know that you sort of understand. No, I've spoken to Arnold. Arnold, you sort of understand why SEC is doing it. I think you've spoken to me about that already. But I mean, you also know why some people are a little bit critical about this.
Of course.
So why are they worried then? What have they told you? Like, what's their own concern?
I mean, there's so many concerns, right? So, okay, on the one hand, where I can see the job of the regulator is to protect the population first and foremost, right? So I can see where that's coming from. I can see where you need a certain amount of capital to make sure risks, right? There's especially with alternative assets, private credits, for example. Nobody really says this, but private credits the asset manager lends on balance sheets, right? In that sense.
This is being recorded.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I'm being nice to my regulator.
So I understand that, but there is an aspect of it to say 5 billion, for example, for hired for 20 billion AUM is too much, right? You're parking cash, you're parking capital. in a sense, making his capital useless, right? When he can be doing so much. An asset manager structure has third-party counterparties to ensure that client funds or deposits, investors' deposits are protected. The custodian, the trustee, funds are meant to be segregated. Where I understand raising capital is there to protect investors, I think that more attention could perhaps be looked at the third party. So the counterparties, the custodians, the trustees, because that's where the risk lies. And there are other risks that the regulator hasn't touched on yet, right? When it comes to mark-to-market, which they're touching on, but when it comes to reporting, performance reporting, we don't know. There is no uniform reporting across the industry. So there are other things that they could look at, and placing such a high minimum capital requirement can also be negative for competition. Right, because you're seeing new asset managers pop up, which can be worrying, but at the same time, it makes other guys sit up to say, okay, what's going on here? What can I do now to make investors more money? What can I do now to? So the big boys can now get a bit more lazy, knowing that the competition the market isn't really going to be competitive, and I can sit back. So that's the other side of it. But but in the other sense, I understand what the regulator is trying to do: protect the markets, protect the investors, protect the general public, and also make it harder for just any Tom, Dick, and Harry to come and set up a fund, especially now that private credit is getting popular and infrastructure funds are getting popular.
All right, Tunde. So another thing that I've heard, at least from the regulator side as well, is they've also said, look, we need to have serious players in the market. We don't want to have briefcase
companies.
Briefcase companies. There's so many of them. Someone in tech says, oh look, how are you gonna have a capital market where you don't have people that can underwrite transactions? You don't have, CMOs or fund managers that can actually employ sound researchers. That these people are not cheap, right? How do you actually go out and pull money out? Have the skill to go and bring money in. But on the flip side, do you really need capital to do all that? Is that how it works?
Yeah, no,
definitely. Or is there any sense in what they're saying?
How do I go? So you definitely need capital, that's for sure. And I think the quality of the people you hire is also very important, and that's what delivers the results. So that's what differentiates you from your competition. Now it depends on where you are playing at. So if you're a fund manager, definitely, like Arnold said, you need a balance sheet. But if you're an advisory business, I don't think you need that much balance sheets or whatnot. It's really about relationships and your intellect, your research quality, your knowledge, and all that stuff. So I think just using a blanket capital increase as a means for across board, I think is a bit aggressive and harsh. So I think they need to look at it across each where you're playing at, basically. For the broker dealers, do they need that much as well? I don't think so, because you're trading people's money, and there are structures in place. For example, you don't hold their shares in custody. That's held with CSCS. There are systems in place where settlement doesn't have to pass through a broker's account, right? There's what they call DSS, direct settlements. So there are all these things in place already for consumer protection. They're like fail-safes for consumers. So I think it's a bit aggressive. But one thing, the present capital structure has been in place for almost 15 years anyway. When I came into the market in 2012.
Yeah, I heard it was 2012, 13 or so.
Yeah,
last time.
I made it there. So it was only a matter of time, but it's aggressive. Where this is Nigeria, we spend Naira, not dollars. So we can't always keep benchmarking our standards against the dollars. It's a local market. So yeah, that's my view.
So Tunji, you've seen one of the things that they tend to always say is that sometimes you need to find a way to formalize, the market. There's just too many players everywhere.
I agree.
One of the things that some of the sources in SEC say is, look, you've got gazillion stockbrokers. not doing anything. They're not bringing retail investors into the market.
I agree.
Not marketing enough. And the reason why they're not doing this is because they don't have capital. They're not very well capitalized. So just look at a little bit of magic that the likes of Cowrywise, Bamboo, and Trove have done.
By the way, I think they will be a bit, the other fintech brokers will be upset to let the entire world know that their capital requirement used to be 50 million.
Yeah,
because almost everybody has 50 million and everybody could have come in. So they are very upset.
Yeah, 50 million.
Could you have just left this part out?
So I mean, but you. So in the larger context of this, it's 5 billion a lot.
So
more like, what are the pros and cons here? Because everything has pros and cons.
I think that I'm being set up, but I will say my mind. So I've always believed that, so I'm going to speak from two perspectives as businesses who are serious about doing what they do. I've always believed that if you're serious about the business you operate, you generally don't want it to be a pure water business.
What does that mean?
That means everybody can just come in because they have cash, right? There must be barriers to entry. There must be a moat around your business. There must be something ensuring that if you've been able to cross this hurdle, you will be here for a very long time. And if we're going to trust these people with some of our infrastructure development, if we're going to trust them with some of our, funds, accumulation, then they should be robust enough to be able to carry it. That's from the business side. I totally believe that. From the regulatory side, and the regulator is tied into the overall mindset of the government as a whole. We're trying to create a $1 trillion economy. If we get there is a question of how, but a $1 trillion economy needs more robust entities to channel that along.
Yeah.
How?
So here's the thing. So similar to my industry, we were here when capital conversations were spoken about, and everybody was up in arms. Pension fund administrators do not need this capital. And we've seen it happen before. What will happen is that people who cannot meet it will merge with people who can. They will become stronger. We will have stronger institutions. The market will be better for it long term. Right? So my thinking is always, we all don't have to be fund managers. Really? Some people can run poultries.
What?
That's a bit harsh.
What's going on here? Sorry, I was daydreaming. What?
Anyways,
when CBN raised capital requirements the first time, I think it was 2 billion.
From 2 billion to 25 billion. Some
That
fell
first
off.
time. Some fell off. They've gone
We had
to do
also some
other
funny
businesses.
banks then. Yeah.
They've gone to do agro.
Also,
and
how many
they-
banks have come since then? Like I saw Premium Trust Bank yesterday.
Yeah.
You get
What's that? Like
Yeah.
amazing.
the
right?
whole idea
proper
is
banks,
that
proper
the whole
banks,
idea
yeah.
is that it is a situation whereby the good will rise to the top.
Yeah.
So
Okay, yeah.
it's let the market play, because what we're trying to do is trying to control market forces, because it is maybe our pockets are too small.
But let me ask you, Tunji. So there's a pattern I'm seeing, and I'm trying to understand why it's happening. I'm in media or not in any of these things. So mine is just to ask the questions, right? I'm trying to understand things. So we do bank recapitalization. There was a complaint it went through. Insurance recapitalization, we've been talking about it for years.
Yeah.
Finally, it's happening. They were complaining, but now it's going to happen. BDCs recapitalization, even BDCs did recapitalization. There was a lot of complaining about BDCs,
But it's
now it appears they seem to have
They are
Financial
stronger.
pension funds, the same thing. So there's this pattern of regulators wanting, something to happen, and then the operators themselves don't like it.
But still,
Eventually, they do it. So is that disconnect?
No.
No,
calm
but
down,
it's
calm
normal
down,
for
calm
businessmen,
down.
right?
Wait,
So,
wait.
So what's
no, but it's
the
normal
issue
to complain.
here?
Arnold,
I will.
Arnold, wait first. it's not everybody that is complaining. Let's be very clear. Let's be
Some are
very
happy with
clear.
what's going on.
Let me tell you.
You look like you like regulators these days.
So first of all, I'm regulated, so I'm very careful. But I've told you, just understanding my industry, I feel the capital requirements to enter my industry should be higher.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, let me explain what I'm doing. We are rolling out infrastructure in 36 states of the country plus the FCT. You can't come into that with 100 million naira. You'll be swallowed up in the first 2 months. You need to be able to ride the wave before the profit hits the curve, right? So we can't just be, okay, because we're Nigerian, right? We believe we'll hustle it through. So let me just get that 500 million. If I can just struggle, Ugo, you get 50 million there. You get 100.
But minimum capital is not necessarily working capital.
No, I
Capital is not
know,
working capital,
but,
right? It's not the
if
buffer.
if the requirement is hard for you, then the working capital will be hard.
Okay.
It just goes hand in hand.
But Tuna, is there a link between being very well capitalized, right, regulatory induced or not, and having a business that has structure and governance? Because that's also part of what reasons that we are saying. Like, if without recapitalization, you can have structure, you can have governance, you can have a board, it's just always be one guy who just carries the checkbook around and all that stuff. Is there any sense in any of that?
There is sense, but it doesn't necessarily follow. And we've seen, we know companies that are even quoted, but they're still one-man businesses.
Yep, quite a number of them. So many of them.
But that's not a Nigeria thing.
Yeah, it happens everywhere anyway. Like, I mean,
Yeah. So I mean, but
Jimmy
to his point,
Diamond is
Like
still.
you'll see, I
still the
mean,
main guy.
when CEOs step down, the new CEO will always see how much value the company has lost because they've been replaced. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, sorry I'm not saying poultry farming is asset managers. No,
For the record.
For the record, I need to say this. It is very profitable. We see people in agro-allied services, and they're doing fantastic. I'm just saying that we all don't
everybody doesn't have
to
to be on the same
in
lane.
financial services.
Yeah.
We can all go and do other
our
things.
listeners can discern.
Yeah,
Don't worry,
yeah.
don't worry.
No, but the
before
point
they enter.
almost every regulated financial entity be a big business, because that's what we're saying
Yes.
now. That
Yes.
You think it must be a big business?
Yes. So depending
So what's
on
the definition of big? Is it assets under management? Is it staff?
big
Skill.
enough to serve the customers you are accrued to. So for instance, the banking industry, there is the tier 1 bank, there's the tier 2 banks.
Yeah.
There's the national microfinance bank, there's the state microfinance bank, and there's the local government microfinance bank. The local government microfinance bank should have enough capital to cover the local government.
Well, isn't that because these are deposit-taking institutions?
correct.
So no, whichever way, it is financial services. You see the
No,
first,
but asset managers, for example, are agents. It's an agency business.
yes,
Aum is my custodian. You're my client.
Yeah.
You want to buy whatever stock. You tell me, Arnold, I like GT at 90. I'll say, okay, buy it. I call Aum to say, Aum, Tunji's cash that you hold. Remember, I don't hold though. Tunji's cash that you hold, just send it there.
But what skin in the game do you have?
bam.
No, I think
actually some of the questions they ask.
the point is actually that this industry is not starting from scratch. There are already lots of people. Like I imagine this must be some sort of consolidation play, right? So
Yeah,
you
it
look
is.
at
It is.
any
I
open
see that.
offer. You look at any open offer.
It's mature.
Look at how many issuing houses are on that thing.
They're like gazillions. of
Have you ever been on one of those calls with 11 issuing houses on them? Have you
Yeah,
actually
it's a
ever
lot.
been on them?
And none of them are.
You will
And
have,
so
you
how
will have
are you
40
guys
people
paying your
in
bills?
one meeting.
Yeah.
Which investors have we reached out to? Do we have exclusivity as to which issuing house will reach out to which of these investors? No, actually, I think we'll just see who gets there first. Then why are there 11 of you?
Yeah. Okay. No, that one. Yeah. 100%. 100%.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. 100%.
You know what I'm saying? It's good. So at the end of the day,
market isn't big enough for that many operators.
You get-
Well, 4 trillion naira assets management.
I've always wondered-
industry
and
with
flip it
60-something or 100
with
something
it.
asset
Let's go
managers.
back to banking, because banking shows us what can be. When CBN first raised capitalization to 25 billion, some banks merged, the number, absolute number shrunk.
Yeah.
Today, there are more banks than there were then.
Are they? I don't think we had 100 banks back then.
No, I mean
before
after the first shrinking,
Okay.
it means that the money they capitalized, and we've increased capitalization again after that. So, and people have now gotten afterwards.
Yeah.
So it means that despite the higher requirements, the industry is now of more quality that people can now raise better capital to come and play in the market. So, for instance, if all I needed to do to be in this market was to move this water from here to here, right? If I went to him and said, I need 100 million naira to be able to move this water from here to here, it would be like,
What are you talking about? Yeah.
I mean, like, but if the real requirement I have is to ensure that I get this from wherever it comes from, get this water from the plant. He sees the logistics behind it and he realizes that I need that infrastructure to be able to make this table stand. Then my 100 million requirement.
There's just too many people. They just want the serious people to still
exactly.
Be there.
It's just simple.
So does this also speak to accountability? So, for example, if you're a fund manager and maybe your capital is I don't know, maybe $1 billion versus another fund manager that's capital at 20 billion. Does accountability matter here in terms of that you're 20 billion, I can sue you. So if I give you money, I know you can't mess with my money. I can sue you and stuff like that. Does this all matter?
No, because ultimately these are heavily regulated industries, and for me, I think the regulation is more important than the capital. So that's why you have all these things like sponsored individuals, the returns that you do weekly, monthly.
So who are sponsored individuals though? Like, did they really get sponsored? What are they sponsoring really?
No, well, not sponsored in the
license.
sponsored in the license. Yeah. They're not bringing out money to sponsor.
Yeah,
they're just like
it's like they're the brains. It's the brains now.
They're like
the sponsored individuals.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that you have the
functions.
license. Sponsored individuals, it's a license to operate.
Yeah.
Really, like CF30 in England, right? So in England, we had to do CISA exams, and we got a year CF30 license to operate.
So at least let's be sure that somebody within this your fund
with knowledge
structure
and
knows
expertise
anything
and all that.
about.
so you do some exams, you understand regulation.
But guys, in all of this, right? SEC dialed back on the 10% to 0.1%.
Yeah.
Are there other areas that we think maybe, okay, even if we completely disagree with some of the things that they're trying to do, what do we think they need to dial back on? They're probably listening and watching this. So what should they dial back on? For example,
Can I argue one thing? Just on the previous point, there's actually one thing that I think is, and sometimes I'm very generous in my interpretation of things.
Okay.
So, but if you want to be generous as to why the regulator is doing all of this stuff, let's not forget that this whole movement of banks becoming holdcos in Nigeria is actually pretty recent, right?
Yeah.
On the one hand, it's so maybe executives can stay in for longer. On the other hand, it's because banks trade at really bad valuations when on book, right? Which is what banks should be trading at. They trade at very low valuations, or they used to. And so you can increase your equity value by having a PFA, by having an asset manager, by having a direct lender, by having a issuing house, etc. As this banking sector has now been recapitalized, and as this has not just been with retained earnings, but with actual cash.
With actual cash, yeah.
These banks, or the banking part of the holdco, is inherently more valuable anyway.
Yeah.
And so the conversations I've been having all week with banks is, do you actually need all of your subsidiaries? Your PFA is actually now quite valuable. Your issuing house is actually valuable as a standalone business. Do you know what? Your bank is actually valuable as a standalone business. And so what we're focusing on the people that need to increase their capital requirements in order to get there, right? Which is fine. But what about the guys who've got surplus capital right now and are actually now incentivized and motivated to focus on their core business? Are you going to see a breakup of those? Do we need to assume that the issuing houses and the PFAs and so on that are owned by the big banks will actually always be owned by those big banks?
We do know one entity that we've been talking about sweating its individual assets a lot more, and it's not doing very great in terms of sweating the
Access Bank.
GT.
Just say
I did not say anything.
So are you saying that the banks should sell their subsidiaries?
Yeah, carve these things out.
So
Okay.
it's no
interesting.
the
That's
incentive is no longer as much as it was when they did
For
it.
them to hold to
But-
have all
but-
the
but-
subsidiaries.
but- but-
Yeah, it's actually weighing down on them. That's very
It's a
interesting.
perfect
Yeah,
segue
that's very
for so what we're
interesting.
going to next. So, are you suggesting that because I mean, rather than sell, is it possible for banks or bank holding companies to start to list their subsidiaries as well? We've seen Transcorp do that. So Transcorp as a
Absolutely.
whole,
Yeah.
at some point they realized that they weren't getting the right valuation.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then they decided to release Transcorp Hotel
Power,
and then list
the
Transcorp
group.
Power.
Yeah.
And now you can now see,
Yeah,
and then
better
the
valuation.
whole co is still listed. So
yeah.
is that kind of like
Yeah, I mean,
route that you
what's-
think they should go?
If your bank is recapitalized, I can judge you on your return on equity, and I can believe your equity is actually equity, right? Because you've had forbearance, you've taken your NPLs out,
Yeah.
in theory, and you have raised cash. So, I'm thinking now, if I was a bank executive or if I was a banker and I was advising these companies, let those results show. Let people see your return on equity. Why should your book value be conflated when actually we're counting your equity in the PFA and we're counting your equity elsewhere, whatever? Make it clear and simple for people to see.
Yeah.
And then actually your issuing house, okay, fine, I understand that the price to play has gone up, but these things will now be valued on revenues. And, you think about international advisors in the market. There are a few, and that doesn't necessarily need to be a marker of success. I know that Nigeria is its own thing, and you have very good people working locally, but, you have RMB, you have maybe ABSA have like a bit of an associate presence, but they don't do that much, etc. If you have these pure play things, except for JP Morgan, all these things, these are just treasury things to help banks move money around, whatever. Would you actually then have international advisors thinking, well, do you know what? Look at this Coca-Cola transaction. Look at this thing. There are actually tens of millions of dollars of fees I could be making in these markets. And I'm seeing people do that and reporting their numbers. Maybe this is something I want to enter or buy, and you just make the sector more vibrant and serious as a whole.
Hold on, Arnold. Let me hear it. Because I want to hear your view on this.
I haven't
right?
thought that. I'm thinking it through now. So.
Is that value in thinking? Is that the natural
Order of things.
Is that the next step? Because you're seeing, and we've talked about it here a lot, even with Sam on set. We've seen banks at 50% of book value, which is just mad.
Yeah.
Despite all the profits they've made and all that. So are they just carrying too many assets that it's so difficult for us to really value them well? Should they be listing some of this?
Yeah, decoupling can make sense. There's an example internationally. So GE did that a couple of years ago, and the parts have now
Become more than the sum.
Yeah, so like the GE Genova right now, I'm really angry that I didn't buy that. So it's really expensive. So yeah, it might make sense. It might be the natural way to go because they're heavy and the value is not being reflected properly. So yeah, no, I think that makes sense where possible.
Interesting. I'm just thinking. So look at Axis Bank now. So Axis Bank, all your Axis Bank subsidiaries outside Nigeria have them listed separately.
What's the one advantage of that to Axis Bank? They're no longer rated at the Nigerian sovereign, right?
Yes.
If you list outside, you'll not be minus anymore.
Yes.
Explain that.
Because your rating, your credit rating as an institution,
It's
is
just
taxed
based-
based
by
on
based
your
on the
history.
yeah.
Oh,
Right.
So, but if you list separately,
100%.
then
Access, GT, these are all better, credit risk than the Republic of Nigeria.
Yes.
Yeah.
They should be trading at a better thing. So if they were listed elsewhere,
Arnold, what do you think?
He's still thinking through it.
Yeah, I need to think through it. No, but things I understand how the subsidiaries are weighing heavy on the actual holdco, and it makes sense. But I'm just trying to, and I know that there's, I've one thing that has always sort of, I don't know if it interested me or just surprised me is how financial services business in Nigeria needs to have all of these things, right? An asset manager also needs to have an issuing house, also needs to have an investment bank and a brokerage.
It's the Nigerian model.
Yeah, but it feels like
Is it a Nigerian model? Just vertical play,
no,
essentially.
the ultimate
it's a
example
Nigerian
to
model.
that. The ultimate example to that. I was at dinner with someone yesterday from ACA, and he was talking about the greatest. He was looking at Indorama when they wanted money, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't want to do that deal. The deal I wanted to do, they had a distributor that they gave 17.5% of their margin to, and it's a tax on Indorama. I wanted to buy that business." And Indorama are one of the few companies that do that, as opposed to trying to do it in-house.
Yeah.
How many times do you see a manufacturing business where the guy is like, I want to own my own trucks and I want to manage my, because it's the feeling of control. But it's also this mentality thing that's like, I'm giving a profit margin to someone else.
I need to take it. Yeah. So I need to keep everything within the ecosystem. I need to keep within my ecosystem.
If you can do it efficiently, you can do it efficiently, then why not?
But no, but it's
But does that make business sense?
But does that make business sense?
Why not? I was
You're
talking
keeping it in
to
the
somebody the other
ecosystem.
day, and he's into car leasing, and off the back of that, he also established a insurance brokerage because he was paying almost millions, hundreds of millions a year in what's it called, insurance.
So he set up his own insurance.
Yeah, he brought it home.
I think if it works, why not?
So
But it doesn't always work.
is this not now what Tunji is talking about? So imagine this guy.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, because this guy can just say, you know what, I don't want to.
Exactly. So you're actually a car leasing company, but because the capitalization for being an insurance broker is so low,
Let's not go
you
there.
then all of a sudden move into another business.
So
Which is not your specialty.
So am I also saying it weighs on the ROE of the hold co? Is that what it is?
I
weighs down
can't
on
tell
the-
you how the accounting will work, but I can
Yeah,
tell
I'm
you
just
that
trying
if you're an international investor, number one, and this is a sec point if they're listening, investing in the NGX is hard as an international investor.
Why?
I don't know. I've not set up an account. If you can help me do one, I'd be grateful.
For real? To set up? What do you mean?
Yes.
What do you mean set up an
You
account?
need BVN.
I mean,
all
yeah.
those things
Yeah,
that
it's
you don't
tough.
have
It's
as
tough.
a-
I get.
So is this a SEC issue or an NGX
no.
issue?
So this is
No, that's a system issue. I'll give you an example. So we just launched a blog on a Recap, right?
Yeah.
We launched a blog, so I put it out there, and we have international investors, and this is retail international investors, and I got a call from New York. I also got a call from London. I got a call from Accra. Oh, NGX has done 50% because I mentioned the equity, and how can I buy, right? And now it's like, oh. Actually, how can I now service this
100%.
foreign investor to have direct DMA, to have DMA into the Nigerian exchange?
DMA?
3 people
Direct
have asked
market
me.
access.
Okay.
3 people have asked me how to open a brokerage account in the last week.
Yes.
But I mean, but
it's slightly more
So
difficult than we imagine.
Is this not what we need?
It's slightly more difficult than we
Is it a
imagine.
regulatory issue?
I think it's
this
an
is not the regulator.
NGX or broker.
This is not the regulator.
So whose
Okay.
issue is it?
But let's go. You know. So what's the issue? Because somebody has spoken the same challenge to me, and generally because I have experienced similar issues in my industry, and I've had to think through it without it just being one way, and that thinking through has now been able to solve it, and now because people don't realize it that what we now have as transfer from bank A to bank B, it's a lot of thinking that goes into it, and not many countries have that infrastructure built that you can transfer money from bank A and it gets to bank B instantly.
Yes.
And before the transaction ends on one side, the other person might have even gotten it. It's a lot of system thinking. Now, this one with NGX, somebody has explained it to me, and I've said, this is the fix. But obviously, I want us to start so that it's not me that said.
So
the
what's
issue is.
wrong?
So what's the issue?
So I guess it's not as easy to open a brokerage account for foreign retail investor
Why?
as it is for a foreign retail investor in London to open one in the US, right? It's all the
I've
documentation.
tried to open one
requirements.
in the US, Arnold, and I really couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't have socials. So I'm trying to figure out what's the difference
No, but I
here.
think what he's saying is, for example, Nigerian stocks should be available on like a Charles Schwab's account. right?
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
okay.
That's what the DMA is, right?
Yeah.
That provision.
that-
I
is
don't know
what it
how
is?
to own these things other than setting up a local brokerage. Whenever like, I want to trade this stuff, okay, you have Seplat, you have the stuff that's listed in London, that's fine. These things are not available on your usual platforms. As an international investor, maybe because I come back and forth here and I know people here, etc., I reach out to them. They're like, "Oh yeah, you should set up a local account." But then when it comes to doing that, I've
then
seen
you gotta
people
have
ask me for
NIN and all
BVN
that stuff,
numbers
yeah,
and
which you don't
NIN
need
So
to have.
it's
numbers and all
possible
that
to
kind of
have
stuff.
one,
so
but
the
it's
point is
arduous,
that-
right?
no,
It's
so
a lot of work.
Yeah, I
It's a lot
want to
of
hear to just
paperwork.
why.
Just look-
So the point. To
He's trying to catch me out. I don't know. He's looking at me.
I'm waiting.
Hold on. Hear them there. So it's two ways.
Yeah.
You can either set up a local account here in Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not Nigerian, it's difficult because you need to have NIN, BVN. Hold on now. It's similar. If I want to open an account, wait. If I want to open an account in the US today,
Yeah.
Robinhood, I download Robinhood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you can trade
I
whatever you want.
cannot open a Robinhood account if I don't have socials. The last time I tried, I don't know if it's changed now, but if you don't have socials, you can't open a Robinhood account.
So you can open another one.
Wait, no, I'm not talking about crypto. I'm talking about stocks.
I'm saying
Crypto
stocks,
probably.
so you
Okay,
can
we'll
open
get there. You
another
tell
one.
us now.
Uh-huh.
That's one angle. So the second angle is that, okay, even if I don't want to,
Yeah.
but I want to open, like today in Nigeria, if you open maybe Bamboo or Trove or any of these guys,
Yeah.
you can trade US stocks.
Yes, yes.
So if you open a Robinhood account in the US, can you see Nigerian stocks listed on that exchange? Isn't that what
From
you
I
Robinhood?
cannot on my.
that's what I'm saying.
I have Barclays
you
in
can't
the
see
UK. I see
Nigerian.
nothing.
You can't see Nigerian. You can't see
But that's
Nigerian
where we should be
stocks.
at.
And that's
You
the
can't see Nigerian
market
stocks
access
anywhere.
we're talking about. Why
Unless-
can that happen?
I don't know if there's so even locally, I don't know many trading stockbroking firms that their apps are working efficiently.
Less than one.
As of today,
Yeah.
there is absolutely no
Very
reason.
few. My God,
in
the day I go off on trading apps, and I'm going to do that very soon. I'm telling you guys, all of these stockbrokers have apps. I'm coming for all of you. It is absolutely
Yeah, and it's
Terrible.
But is
lost.
that not
It's
a big
lost.
market to
It's
win?
lost
Terrible.
revenue. It's lost revenue because you
Terrible.
have
Apart
the
from a
fintech
few.
guys that make it easy.
But let me let you
I'm
land.
biting my tongue
Let me let you
with
land. Go
saying
on.
this because
But is it their fault that you can't have Facebook listed on like no, not Facebook. You can't have Seplat or UBA on a stock on a Ameritrade app or Robinhood app.
Well, it's about products as well, right? So I mean, one of the best trades that I personally did was a few years ago when this whole Credit Suisse 81 thing happened, right? So if you follow
Yeah.
banking, then Credit Suisse was a Swiss bank. It went down. The big tragedy, or the thing they spoke about, is that the additional tier one equity holders, right, which is meant to be loss-bearing risk that converts to ordinary shares when things go bad, they got paid and ordinary shareholders didn't. And people were up in arms. Everyone like, oh, the Swiss regulator's never going to make it. It's all messed up, whatever. At that point, I was like, okay, well, European banks seem like a good buy. I don't know the difference between BNP Paribas and SocGen and Barclays in this. I'm not going to do the work. But I can open my app, buy a European banks ETF. That's just a pure play European bank risk thing.
Yeah.
And watch that go up.
Yeah.
he has said it. It's a product thing. Let me explain.
Yeah, but
Let me explain.
Okay.
So this is upsetting. It's upsetting
Yeah.
because
It really
I
is,
know,
especially when your shoulders are high like
I know
this.
that
It's really upsetting.
exactly.
It
I know
is,
that
it
it's
is,
you
it
can
is.
think through it. So in Nigeria, the pension commission just recently said Nigerians and foreigners who live in Nigeria who earn in USD can now set up a dollar-denominated pensions account. And the way you fund your pension account is through a domiciliary opened with the parent bank of the custodian. Now, this is the guideline. That's all the regulator is meant to do. It's now in front of me. I'm thinking, how do I make this happen? Now, note this infrastructure doesn't exist in type to fix this problem as of today. So what did I do? I went, held the custodian. Let's go and talk to your bank.
Yeah.
Now, note, I'm talking to 3 different custodians. We went to the banks each and we started talking. Now, because I'm talking to 3 banks, I'm finding out I might be talking to Arnold and Arnold gives an insight. And I'm like, oh my God, that's interesting. So we now bring it to the other 2 guys. Now we found a solution for everybody.
Yeah.
Now, in a week or so, when everybody starts doing that seamlessly, it will be like magic, right? Nobody's going to realize it took me months and months of consistent thinking and my team, going over and over. This is the problem I am worried with stock. And it doesn't give me trust in stockbrokers in general.
so-
Because if you can't think through a simple...
You gotta
No,
because
if
you gotta
you
come
can't
back
think-
because
Silence him.
Because before I crossed over to doing the Lord's
Yeah,
work,
yeah.
what I'm doing right now,
Yes.
I was an operator,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I still sit on the board of a stockbroking company,
which one?
and Korea Investments,
Ah, okay.
right? And I know the things that Oscar tried to do while he was the CEO of the
NGX.
stock exchange NGX, and some of it is just is infrastructure issues, right? So, for example, we built an app,
Yeah.
right? But it wasn't us that was the problem. It was the what's it called? The layer behind it that is the equivalent of like our core banking. I don't know what you call it.
Like NIBs or is that what
Well, not even NIBs, but the people that are providing like the
DMA, the market access.
our software providers, for the lack of a better word.
Yeah, and everyone
like-
uses the same guys.
Correct. Yes.
Everyone uses the same guys. Yeah,
They
I know,
were the
and I
problems.
don't understand. Yeah, everyone uses the same
CSCS,
people.
is that what you
No,
guys
no,
do?
not
just
CSCS.
There's an actual company.
So
Its name escapes me.
an infrastructure underneath, like what's a NIBS?
Yes,
to
and
banking
everyone
would
uses
be.
the same guy and the
so
same
the same
guys.
guys.
And those guys.
I know
So
that
number
that's
one,
the
then- I
problem,
don't wanna say terrible, but
let
those
me
guys-
finish.
Then,
Yeah, so I know
I
exactly
have
where.
gone
then on the
through
product
this.
side,
Yeah, I
in
know
fairness,
exactly what you're talking
there's
about.
the market depth. We talk about the population of participants retail in Nigeria is 4%, which is very abysmal. So you develop
But
products,
regardless,
and you know
institutions
we have a
also
couple
use
of
that same
ETFs.
infrastructure.
Yes.
Nobody's buying it, nobody understands it. You know, so why are you developing something that no one is going to buy?
But what is the value of that 4%? That 4% is still valuable, right?
Yes,
And that's what people-
huge
that's
value
what
of
percent-
business
significant
and stuff.
Even
market.
includes double
if
counting.
somebody owns that for, so let me say this: if in this life we had people who created LLMs, AI models, we can develop a stockbroking infrastructure
Infrastructure, yeah.
in Nigeria.
So that's why SEC says, let's revoke some of these issue-raising houses
Now-
and go
So
fix these problems.
Let's even assume the underlay issue is a problem. And this thing I'm saying is not as if I've not
What's this app
experienced.
that they owe you? What's this?
I need to remember the name, man.
So
It's everyone uses the
so
same
let's-
one.
let's- I don't
And
know why
it's-
everybody
it's-
uses that
Is
one.
that like the
And
same trading
infrastructure.
engine like you used to trade?
So
Because I see
it's-
everybody use that same trading engine.
Yes.
is that what
I
it
think
is?
it's that one.
So
It's the one you're talking
imagine,
about.
I know that
the
engine
name
has
escapes me.
that engine
Everyone
is
uses the
significantly
same.
problematic.
Yeah,
I'm
Morgan
not
Capital
sure
started using it first.
why everybody's using it, but let's just even imagine
Yeah.
that it is, right? I expect that every stockbroking firm would hire a very intelligent developer,
To
at least
develop
one.
something in-house, right?
At least one.
Yeah.
And let me explain what I mean. So, this is the layer, right? I know that this layer is chaotic. It takes 5 minutes to be able to sort issues out, right? One of the things that Instagram did very early on was that you've taken the picture, Instagram has started uploading the picture while you're still editing it. So that when you press send, it appears that it's super quick. Now, this is design thinking, which is a problem for me. Now, if the entire industry can just see what I just spoke about in few clicks, then you should recapitalize. Soon. It either means you do not have the money to hire people who can design things like this, or you don't have the money to hire proper developers.
Or perhaps,
One of the two.
or perhaps the industry doesn't really think it's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
don't
maybe
think it's a
we have an
problem.
industry that's just very comfortable.
Yeah, so I think they
with
don't
the
think
level
it's
of
it's,
fees,
it's
yeah.
sort of resting on your laurels,
Or there's
right?
so many people
It's-
that the complaints don't aggregate, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's so many people
possibly
that you
that.
complain to each of your service providers, but there's such a fragmented market.
Yeah.
That no one's listening.
So if you have a software development company, you should build a new solution for the stockbroking industry.
And it's
as a
possible
whole.
to build. You know, I've encountered some serious developers that have done some stuff
We can build it for you.
in markets and portfolio.
All right, guys, let's
reporting.
move.
Anyway,
it's a business solution as
anyway.
well, right?
Yeah.
Think
Yeah, it's a
about
business solution. Yeah.
Dangote,
Let's move.
Tolaram, all these guys, they're also hedge funds. They trade their own equities, they trade their own debt.
mean-
All these
I
guys,
mean-
they all have a need
Yeah.
for it too. It's a business solution.
Yes, so talk to me. I can build it for you.
All right.
Maybe I just explained it
You
now.
know,
Just talk to me.
Tunja and his cheap marketing and all that. Cheap plugs. All right. So let's talk private equity. You've been around for a bit. You've seen the reforms that we've had in the country over the last 2 years. First of all, when I see a foreign investor, I always like to ask that question: what's your take on the reforms so far that you're seeing in Nigeria? What are the positive, negatives, concerns for you?
Yeah, look, as you say, I've been around for a while, and also my bosses who started the firm, they've been investing in Africa since 2008 and 9 as TLG, but before that in their own careers. And so, I think the point is, firstly, we've realized to scale and to be around in these markets, you need to stick around, and a lot of the relationships that you build are when you put in money when no one else is there. And I think there's always going to be opportunities. Now, the question is, are those opportunities opportunistic and extractive, right? Like trading NDFs and doing all that kind of stuff, etc. Or is it by putting down money to actually build something? And with the reforms that we have now, I think everything is leaning towards the latter, right? People are putting equity capital at risk. People are trying to build stuff. People are, putting in money after money to scale and to grow, as opposed to trade or to extract. And I think that, to me, has been really exciting. In the meetings we've had in the last couple of weeks, is that people are hiring people, they're growing their offices, they're scaling.
Which are the reforms
branches,
excite you
all that
more
kind
now?
of stuff. Well, look, I think it's not. I don't think anyone felt excited. It was more like a sigh of relief when these things happened, right?
Relief?
When you looked at the subsidies, when you looked at the FX, when you looked at all of these things that were seen as problems for foreign investors coming in. I mean, we had to get money out. We had a few exits. And I remember, we were fighting about CCIs and this and that because there weren't dollars. This is back when the whole Emirates things were happening, and people were trying to leave Nigeria, whatever. We should not take it for granted that these things are not happening anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
So what's your return been like? I mean, obviously you can't. I don't know whether you can give numbers or not. But when you look at Nigeria and some of these African countries over 10 years, right? We've seen 70%, 80% devaluation, and you're reporting to your investors in dollars, but you're local. What's the reality for a private equity trying to exit or private credit trying to get principal plus interest over this 10-year period?
Private equity is tough. I think all the firms that you speak to that have 2014, 15 vintages are going to struggle to return capital plus hurdle. I think investors, especially if they're development investors, knew what they were getting themselves into at the same time. And I think if you look at the improvements that companies have faced, or if you look at the work that people have done, there's a way to justify that if you're not an entirely commercial investor. And those people are important, right? Because they provide a counter-cyclical buffer. For us, I think our returns have been good. We've sort of returned near double digits in dollars over the last 5 to 10 years.
We went through the deval
over the last 5
and
years, especially in
depreciation.
Nigeria. But
Nice.
Despite the devaluations?
But we do not lend to Naira generating companies, or where we do, there is a platform or there's structuring or there's stuff done behind it to make sure that principal protection is key, because we're in credit, we're not in equity, right? We're not going to have a 3x deal. We lose one deal. If you have a team, people will realize they don't make carry, people will leave, it will become problematic. You must return capital on every single deal, and then what you do above your hurdle is kind of depending on how you price stuff or so on. But we always optimize for structure and downside protection instead of, trying to pretend that we know the market better. Like, oh, there's this new mobile operator, this is how big the market is. These guys will be able to deploy X sites with our capital and the payback period is 3 years. That's all fine. But if things go bad, how do you get your money back? And so our origination, deployment, and structuring strategy for our second fund is working with and through the banks. And so banks in Africa have short-term liabilities in dollars. There's not much term funding in these markets. That makes it hard to write long-term assets. You cannot write a 5 to 7 year loan if you're funded by 90-day deposits. And so we aim to support with that problem. We provide long tenor funding. We help with NPL resolution. We help with single obligor limits. And so, I mean, we'll talk about Nigeria because we're here, but like over the last seven deals we've done, which is the past year, we've done Guinea-Conakry, we've done Djibouti, we've done Tanzania, we've done Kenya. And so, look, if Nigeria is also part of a broader Pan-African portfolio, you can sort of weather the storm a little bit more, right? Depending on what happens in one of your target countries. But I think, look, in general, we feel as though right now I'm most comfortable with the deals that we've done. I think 2 or 3 years ago we did a couple of deals.
Are there use cases you can share?
Yeah, I won't speak to names, but I can speak to sectors and companies. I think 2 or 3 years ago we did a manufacturing sort of company in Otagon State, so like where all the gas is, they sort of benefit from the energy and they export. It's been really difficult for them in that period. The 2 years ago, the FX rates were parallel. It was very, very tough. Right now, we're funded a couple of the multinational carve-outs that you've seen, right? Local sponsors buy. We've looked at more, business aviation services, all that kind of stuff. And really, our investors ask us to look at high-impact sectors, right? So we look at healthcare, education, etc. But we're not doing those deals in Nigeria because those are Naira businesses. And so here it's a lot more thematic, which is if you're doing a carve-out, you're buying a good asset cheap, regardless of what happens to the currency, what you can win, right? Maybe there's technical service fees that were leaking to the parent that was owning it. Maybe there were, I don't know, you're making stuff and you're not getting all of your inputs locally. Whatever it might be, there are enough things to win that your margin will go from 10 to 40% within 90 days of acquiring, or 180 days, or 360 days of acquiring. And that's the opportunity that I think has existed for the last 2 years. Maybe you'll still see some deals happening now. But I mean, you even look at the stock exchange, you look at what's happened with Guinness, Lafarge, all these carve-outs, all this corporate activity that's happening, PZ Cousins changing their mind, right? Actually, this thing is quite valuable. Our job is just to facilitate those transactions with financiers. So we don't do the hard work of owning and operating them.
Wait, let me come to Tunde. I mean, you guys are also into lending as well.
Correct.
So locally in Nigeria, and I'm going to get to Arnold as well, because I know there's also a kindergarten in lending. He's just getting into lending. So I'm putting my kindergarten.
Have you seen his book?
I'm a kindergarten.
Have you seen his book? I know his book.
Let's increase the capital requirements.
I have seen his book.
I'll be fine.
Have you not noticed that his pinstripe suits have become consistent?
Is crazy aggressive.
No, it's consistent as you're watching.
But let me ask you, so lending here, SMEs and all that, a lot of challenges, and you're filling a space that banks ordinarily won't fill. So what do you look at here, before you want to lend, and then what are the, stories out there that you can tell? Are there use cases that you've seen that, like, look, man, the streets there that are working? I mean,
But also, ticket size. Could you help with that also?
Yeah, I'll come to that. So I mean, it's like you said, the streets are real. You learn fast. So but believe it or not, we pretty much do the same things that banks do, right? But I think we're born nimble. We're closer to the ground. We do it faster. We're just more responsive. So we're not going to take 3 months to turn around the credit, right? The aim is effectively we bridge. You get so you get people that come, and you have an invoice or something that you need to quickly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's quick. It's time bound. It's time sensitive.
LPO financing, basically.
LPO financing, yeah. So that kind of stuff. We even have situations where somebody's waiting for a bigger credit line from either a bank or a financing institution like the BOI. When that time business needs to go on, they come to us for stuff like that. Ticket size, once again, we follow the prudential guidelines. So you have to do to the value of your shareholder capital. 20% is the maximum you can do. So to your point about capitalization, the bigger capitalized you are, the bigger the deals.
Higher the deals that you can do.
That you can do,
So
correct. Yeah.
Higher obligor limit.
This one, everybody's agree with.
Nobody's agreeing with you.
Wait till Samson comes. Wait till Samson comes.
I worry.
So I mean, we see a lot. I like to say that I'm closer to. I see the real Nigeria because I see people that come with all types of businesses, from agro processing to people that do recycling to people that do vessel. What's it called when they buy vessels and strip it down and sell it for scrap.
Wow.
You see all types of.
What are the absolute crazy ones that you've seen that, man, this is like the business model just didn't make sense?
The business model?
Yeah, the entire thing, the transaction just didn't make sense.
Oh, well, you have people that there are many. They're trying to use us to run experiments, and I'm like, no, you can't come to me. You have to be operating. You have to have shown, cash flow. You have to have shown productivity. So if you want to be a startup, then I don't know, maybe go to him or a VC, but you can't come to me because
they don't fund.
You don't fund the startups.
Yeah, exactly. So people think they can come, that they have an idea and they've not run it before. And that they want to fund it with debt. You can't. You have to have at least started with family, friends, gather some capital.
So what kind of cash flows? Like consider cash flows for like a year or 2 years or 5 years? And
we'll say 3 years, but we make exceptions.
Collateral and stuff.
You got to collateralize. You have to.
So what kind of? So isn't that what banks do though? Banks ask.
No, but he said that.
but it's
He
more
didn't say
nimble,
that.
right?
He
He
said
does
we
exactly
literally
what's
do
more
what
nimble.
banks do, but we're just not
faster. Okay.
So we tried when we started the whole idea because our company Nolt, NOLT, it stands for no long things.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the idea was that we're
No long
going
things.
to be on the no long thing, but when we started,
So you're quicker but more expensive than a bank.
Yes, exactly. And well, that's because obviously our cost of funds is more expensive as well. But we have to slow down and be on the slightly long things, you know, because
Not too long.
Not too long. Not
so,
so.
but yeah, we have thresholds for collateral. It's not every single one, and we try and be a bit creative sometimes, so it doesn't have to be hard collateral that you have to drop.
So like your blood, like cars, or like
yeah. So we do cars.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and you don't even have to leave the car. You know, you can still go with it, but you just do a sale and buyback.
Oh shit! I know one bank that does that.
I know.
I'm not a car salesman. I'm not going to anybody's cars. I'm not a property. I'm not a real estate guy.
So credit is something you're into now. So
yeah.
Credit.
So what are you looking at? I always said it here that the next big thing for Nigeria is consumer credit.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that later. But
Yeah.
in terms of SME credit and all that, or business credit, what are you looking at? How's that market?
So I mean,
so good.
we're pretty agnostic, like everybody else is here. Agnostic meaning there's no particular sector that we focus on. It's been pharmaceuticals has been amazing. Even as a commercial paper, I'm sure everyone saw the MZO 1 year 26%. That sort of gives you an idea. Yeah, it gives you an idea of what's going on in that sector. The GSK exit just gave room for a lot of guys, McCure, MZO, a bunch of other guys. There's also
Wait. Could you dial back? The
Okay.
GSK exit did what?
it gave an opportunity for a lot of local pharmaceutical guys to actually step up. So like
Yeah.
Did that fill the
As in
space?
to fill the
To fill the
space.
space.
That GSK left.
Which is really ironic because the GSK exit was one of the worst things that happened to Nigeria a few years ago. In terms
100%.
of like, optics.
Even as a
But
consumer,
now,
prices
because
were
my guys
crazy, right?
was with Mikio recently, and they were like GSK exit, essentially created an opportunity for us.
Massive
that's
opportunity.
Like, So now I'm hearing him say it, and I'm like,
Yeah, massive opportunity. I mean,
Explain that.
So I mean, generally, right? When it happened, we saw drug prices go through the roof because everything that was
At
getting
first.
imported now just created a big hole. But you're seeing local guys now manufacture drugs locally, right? Making it cheaper. We talked about with supply chain. Talked about the change in supply chain. Pharmaceuticals as manufacturers, that exit has just created an opportunity for them to
Opportunity for
actually
many
take.
people.
Once they know that they can raise,
Knowing they couldn't
once
have
they know they can
competed
fund, they
with
can
GSK
increase
It's also
capital.
a supply chain.
Yeah.
If you're a distributor,
Sorry. Yeah.
you would always rather stock the GSK guys who pay you
Yeah,
within 60
exactly,
days and whatever.
exactly.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
now you have to deal with other people and you realize they're good. You stock people that you would have never dreamt of stocking, or selling in the past.
Especially when you have limited shelf space.
Yeah.
So
I've dealt with a couple of guys like that.
one of the things I did in my early days as a hustler on the streets was I
talks a lot about his early days.
As a hustler.
so I used to sell.
Should I leave it this way? Turn it like
I used to
this.
do
Yes. Oh, no, what's it up?
pharmaceutical
Up.
adjacent products
Up still? Up.
to pharmacies across, but it was a sales return on sales perspective. So you supply the goods, they put them on the shelf. You come back in 30 days, the amount they've sold, they give you the cash, and if they don't sell any, you don't have any returns. So sometimes you
So
want
like,
to
is the accounts receivables? Sorry, describe it again.
So they call it return on sales.
Okay.
So you put the products on the shelf, and then after 30 days or so, you come back. They've sold 3 boxes. You collect the funds for the 3 boxes, and you hope
You just give them working capital.
exactly.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is because they have limited shelf
inventory.
space.
Yeah.
So they have to keep
There's
churning it out,
competition.
right?
So a cheaper brand that is selling quickly could kick you off the shelf. And one of those 30 days you could come and all your goods are probably just stacked on the
Still in the box.
in the box. Yeah, I tell you, you need to take your stuff and go. So yeah, that is, it just makes a lot of sense that created the opportunity.
And even in general, there's a big rush, and you can probably account to this, of foreign investors coming into African private credit markets, and because of this opportunity, we saw BlackRock give Enco some funds.
Yeah.
BlackRock and Fidelity, was it Fidelity? Someone else. Because there is this opportunity of you're seeing when the, let's call it, the Pan-African downturn happened, we saw a lot of foreign multinational companies leave, creating this hole. for guys that can actually operate in this space, but just need capital. Equity might be too much. You don't want to be holding their hands and dancing with them on the downside. You sort of want to be the protection, right? And that's what private credit does. You know, I don't necessarily want to own a part of our bar for the next 10 years.
It's liquid.
Right? But
it comes back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what are the problems with equity? You don't get leverage on it.
No, you don't. Yes.
You don't get exits. Your currency will, affect your returns. If you've got a dollar claim that's senior, that has a contractual payment date, these things are attractive.
And
to
it's senior,
investors.
exactly, senior. Yeah, so you know that anything happens, I'm first to get sorted out.
So, one more question. I mean, still on the same topic. What sort of sectors are you looking at, and what sort of sectors do you think that, from your experience over the last 3-4 years, that you think looks like there's traction here?
Yeah, so I mean, firstly, they're informed by our investors. So on the one hand, we have the IFC, Swedfund, Norfund, BPI France, a lot of these, development finance institutions. On the other hand, there are family offices in Singapore, Monaco, South Africa, Dubai, etc., that are looking for yield and looking for exposure to emerging markets. Of course, they still care about creating positive impact. So we don't do upstream oil and gas. We don't do extractives. I think actually having not focused on that, for myself for the last 5 to 7 years, but for the firm for the last 15 years, has been great, because we've discovered opportunities that otherwise, if you're lazy, you will never go below the surface to find. And so we have done, we did a Nollywood film producer, right, against the receivables offshore. We did a agro-processor, we did manufacturing, we've done business aviation, right? So financing aircraft, which is normally a US thing, we've done that here in Nigeria. And so I think it's opened our eyes to what you have to realize is that, okay, there are these mega projects and there's the headlines and there's the 80-20 rule in terms of what moves the needle and where people go and why are more people boarding a flight from London to wherever, right? Probably many of them are there for the same reason. You look at Guinea, it's a good example. There's a mega project happening, Rio Tinto are putting money in, whatever. But are there things happening beneath the surface, or are there sectors that you can support? And this is where I go back to the point that our origination network and our partner network is through the banks. These guys have branches, they have relationship managers, they see collection accounts.
So do you go to the banks and say, what you give me the deals or transactions you don't want? Is that where you got origination from them, or do you?
Would you like liquidity? We'll refinance you. Is there a customer too big for you? We'll take it. Do you have an NPL? We'll help resolve it.
Okay.
Whatever it might. Each bank and each regulator is so different.
Okay.
And so it depends on the regime. It depends on what's going on. If they're capitalizing, if they're not, whatever. But it's creating structured solutions in partnership with banks, as opposed to trying to compete with them for the same customers. Because our cost of funds will never be the same as theirs.
So would you take a bad loan? Would you go to the bank to say, listen, give me your NPLs? You said NPLs, right? Post 90 days, they give it to you at a discount. So whatever the NPL is, whatever days they use for NPLs.
The structure is slightly different. So we try to structure it so we still reference the FI risk. But what we do is more, why is this customer an NPL? There are some people that just don't want to pay you.
Yeah.
And in that case, what's the point?
What's the Those
point?
guys are. But if it is money locked somewhere and they can't just access it for some reason.
If you need
The
to go
timing
to
issue.
CBN for your second or third restructure and you rather not, can we refinance it?
Exactly.
Okay.
If the business struggled because you cannot give it 2 more year principal moratorium because you have short-term deposits.
Okay, okay, I understand.
So what are the
So the business
circumstances
is profitable.
So what businesses do you absolutely say, you know what, no?
I mean, we have an exclusion list. We follow the DFI exclusion list. So if they do upstream oil and gas or,
No,
mining
even if they do
and
what you
stuff.
want,
Yeah.
and maybe it's a transport business, for example.
Look, if they've come
manufacturing
from
business, why would you say no to them? What is it, because they don't have good cash flow, or is it because maybe you think they don't have good governance? What are the things that you absolutely? Because I mean, you've got people watching and they're saying, okay, if I wanted to come to Aum, what am I going to be looking at? What do I need? Who do I need to be to come to you?
No, I like the way you worded it in terms of why do we not do deals? I mean, if there's bad integrity, right? Integrity, character checks, all these sorts that you can't pay for them. They're just, you need to build a relationship in each country and a network and have partners that you can call around and figure out, why is this guy asking for money from London instead of local, right? Like, what's going on? Is it that you've grown to that degree, or is it that everyone locally knows what the game is, right? So character is probably the single most important thing. Clearly, you need to be able to meet your obligations. Now, we're not the sort of people that do very deep, long Excel financial model, that kind of stuff. But there's like an 80-20 rule, right? If you make stuff, how many tons can you produce? What's your working capital? Where will you get it from? Where will you sell it to? Is your team good enough to be able to do it, right? If you're manufacturing. If you're distributing things, well, are they in the right conditions? Who are your contracts with? Like it will depend on each sector, and it's a very hard thing to. And I know ideally there's a list of criteria, so that if someone doesn't meet it, you're like, please don't contact me. But you have to, have conversations, and that's why the sourcing happens across the team. Everyone in the team, if you look at their calendars, they're having several calls a week. We try to break the triage by originating through the banks, but I think you can never. What will kill you is if you have the arrogance to be like, well, you don't meet my criteria, you don't deserve a 20-minute call. You have to talk to people and see what their situation is. And that way, you'll find deals that you never dreamt of.
No long thing.
No long thing.
Just to ask you as well. So, SME guy, been operating for 5 years. We had an agro guy here some time ago, and he spoke very glowingly of was it MBO Capital?
MBO Capital.
The support they're giving him and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So for your kind of business, who are you looking for? What sort of businesses are you looking to support? Is it businesses that have done it for 10 years, 5 years? Is it they have collateral, or is it they have cash flow? Is it the personality? What are those things that you're looking at?
Yeah, so just like Arnold said, we're agnostic, really. But character is actually very, very key. Google is your friend, actually. So there was a time where I just started exploratory conversations with this guy, and I'm not sure what happened. Maybe someone in my team committed to him, but on a corporate level, we didn't commit. And he took it personal when we declined, and he started calling around. Saying that, Nolt, you guys, this and that.
Because you didn't give him money.
I'm telling you. So later on, I Googled this guy.
Took it personally.
And also,
took it personally.
His whole story was on the internet. Wow. And he had cases with the EFCC for, the guy was just bad.
So how was your risk management framework able to detect that guy? Because that's probably why you didn't lend to him in the first place, without even checking. So how were you able to detect him? What was the red flag? Him or her?
I can't really remember, because it was a couple of years ago. I can't remember. It didn't even get to the level that I had to even make a decision. It didn't get to that level. It was like credit. So they looked at several things, even the utilization of the funds, his cash flow, his bank statements, whatever. They looked at a lot of things. But just to highlight that character is also very, very key, because this guy just turned on us, started abusing us.
Oh, wow.
The audacity on top of my money.
I'm telling you. So, imagine if we had given him money. So, character is actually at the top.
He probably wouldn't have given you anxiety.
All right, so let's pivot a bit to consumer credit, right? So we've talked about it a few times, but I have credit guys here. You and so Tunji and I are the ones looking for credit.
Yes.
So
Tunji is good for it. I'll take this watch.
Without
What a Richard Mill? Is that a Richard Mill?
Sure, you can see bourgeois people. What do we need for consumer credit to grow here? Because I really don't know. Like, we've gone through subsidy removal, exchange rate reforms, energy reforms, different kind of reforms. Young people can't get houses, can't get a rent. I was trying to get a rent and to get a new office on this street, and the rent was going for 40 million. Lucky phase one.
I expect so. Somebody needs to hear this
for a
again.
5-bedroom.
Somebody needs to hear this again.
40 million for a 5-bedroom.
40 million.
And little duplex, a little BQ per annum. So, and there are a lot of people out there who maybe need to buy a phone, or need to pay rent, or need to buy a laptop. I mean, like this Tunji's phone now,
It's exactly the same phone he uses.
It's the price of land.
It's like,
the price of land. It is the price of land. What's a Port Harcourt? You can buy land for that.
All right, so it's different. Anyway, so how do they fund this thing? So where do you guys come in? Or who's going to come in? Who's going to provide this credit to these guys? And what do they need to do to provide credit to them?
Well, so there are several things to unpack in there. But I think, firstly, I think any society that really wants to develop credit is very, very essential. And it needs to be affordable. But at a macro level in Nigeria, we're trying to solve for so many things, inflation, trying to attract, funds and all that. So right now, interest is not friendly, quite frankly. If we have to be honest.
Interest rate.
Interest rates, yes, it's not at the level where it should be to even encourage home ownership, because mortgages can never be sustainable at 20-something%.
Yeah.
That's not for you. You can't do that.
Let's even leave mortgages.
Yeah.
Like regular credit.
So regular credit. To be honest, I think what is also missing, and there've been some improvements in the whole ecosystem, from the point of view of data access, because for me to assess you, I need information about you. And I know some people have tried to, people are doing stuff, people like Mono, where you can connect, get their bank statements, try and do credit assessments. But imagine giving credit to someone whom, if I found his location today and then tomorrow I go to that place and they're like, sorry, that this guy don't pack him out.
Yeah. If you notice, that was said in pidgin because it doesn't translate well in English.
Yeah. So those are the sort of...
he is relocated.
I understood. I understood. For Aum's sake. I understood what you're talking about.
Please. It is.
You were looking at me when you said
it. But
consumer credit is a tough one, right?
But it's a good point, though. So how do we... So we've got NIN, we've got BVN.
Yeah.
Right, as the claim, digital registries improved and all that. Even Arnold, you guys have walked abroad. How do you have a viable consumer credit market?
Yeah.
Let's even say, I'm a young graduate, I'm done with school, I've got a job, and I'm working with Recap, and my salary is good. I want a credit card. Why can't I get one? What's lacking?
Wait, first of all, you are working with Recap, you will get one. I can assure you. That
Who
is
will give him
the banks. These Nigerian banks.
They should give you one now. They should.
I'm sure they will give you. I know they will.
I'm working with
Use another example.
Alba should get one for the. You should actually get one in the corporate level, the hold co or corporate level for your.
No. Our bar receptionist, if they have one, because Tunji is very techy these days. The AI does everything for him.
Yeah.
Let's just imagine we have a receptionist. How does that person get credit?
I mean, you're asking the wrong
Let's
guy.
use
I'm
picking your brain. You've lived abroad.
Yeah, but I mean, how it was.
So from your experience,
how it
what
was.
happens?
It's when you get your job, it's based on your salary, right? You go with your
so what happens
contracts.
Go on.
You can go with your contract, go with your letter of employment. The banks can actually see, and it's a salaried account, right? So if my salary was getting paid into NatWest or wherever it was, they know it's coming into this account. So my bank, did give me a credit card based on that. I went with so it should be the same. I mean, I've had the privilege of trying it here, so I don't know.
There is infrastructure.
Credit scoring?
There is infrastructure. No, not credit scoring. There is infrastructure for it. So there is some sort of bank salary payment service.
There is that here, It's a salaried
there's a bank
account.
salary payment service that ties into a lot of credit infrastructure credit apps and things that is in the app's assessment model. So once it's like kind of you put your BVN, you put your name, they kind of check the organization you work with, they just kind of map it, and then they're able to lend to you based on the fact that you receive salary regularly from this.
Yeah, but Ogojo, you mentioned credit score, right? Which is something that we don't have here.
No, we do.
Oh, do we? Oh, sorry.
We do.
But they're not recapitalized.
So in terms of if you vote, if you're registered to vote,
they're not recapitalized.
if you're registered to vote,
They're not capitalized.
But
No. So what we have though is what we have is credit history. It doesn't
Credit
give
history, but it doesn't give you credit. You get a
Yeah,
credit
right,
score.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
But I think
if
the
you're
point- yeah.
if you're registered to vote, if you're registered to vote, for example, you have to live where you live to be registered to vote. So your salary comes in.
I went to an embassy recently and I tendered my voter's card as ID card and whatever.
Did they take it?
They said it's a third party. It's a secondary
Ah.
identification. That's what I called it. It's not a
Yeah.
primary identification.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never had that before.
So the thing is, it can work. It's a so the people who have the capacity to create it are not really interested in consumer credit. When I say the people who have the capacity, I'm talking about the big banks. The big
That
banks
should be banks being interested in consumer
exactly. They shouldn't really, right?
So are
Yeah,
there
because-
are there structures that we don't have? So for example, from my own little knowledge, I know that, for example, say in the US, so they have the big banks, they have the consumer credit, they have credit card issuers, they have ratings, the credit score
Ratings,
guys.
yeah.
They also have insurance, people who insure against these things. They have people who guarantee some of this stuff as well. Then they have the different things that
There's nothing you have said that we
There's-
don't have here.
No. I think our ecosystem is not complete. Though,
Exactly.
To your point.
Which
Because
means not
take for-
complete,
Do
isn't
we
it?
have that
No, so
full
take for
ecosystem?
example-
But we have so many things. BVN and
No, we have those.
What's missing?
We have those other
IRS.
points. But I mean, take for example, there are consequences in more developed countries if you've got poor credit.
Damn, nice.
I-
Okay.
I-
So let me ask Arnold and Tunji this question. So
Why Arnold and Tunji?
Why
Yes.
be?
Yes.
Why drag me into this?
if I am owing Tunji
Yeah.
and I refuse to pay him, what can he do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
So I think we need. Yeah. So to that,
You're
to
saying
that,
you
to
because
that
the reason why I asked
to
is
that
that
point, there's
you're
nothing.
seeing, you're
There's really
seeing
nothing.
big banks lend billions of naira
And they have to beg you
companies
now.
and they cannot get their money back.
I think the
They essentially have to write off because the judiciary is either in the court for 10 years. And I guess that's the point you're trying to make. That's one of the one
there
of
are
the
consequences.
But-
But even on a very
that
retail level,
situation.
in some cases, I heard in UK, if you want to rent a place, they do credit checks. So you can't even rent a house, for example, if you got bad credit, or in some cases you can't even get jobs if you work in the financial services.
Yeah, financial services, yeah.
So
Yeah, but that's a
but-
very Nigeria. So again, design thinking. We must build for the economy we are in. Nigeria is a very cash-based economy. A lot of this rent
It doesn't have to be cash based.
The same problems that affect what you guys are talking about with credit, I'm sure the federal government is scratching their heads on because it's the same thing that means that Nigeria is undertaxed, right?
Yes, absolutely.
With people, it's very hard to. People in informal retail, it's hard to extract funds and it's hard to collect funds. And if people don't pay stuff, there are not many consequences. Now, it's interesting because it ties into a few things that we've said throughout this conversation. Number one is Trump, right? Because he was talking about 10% interest rates on credit cards.
Yeah, he said that too.
Consumer credit, even in the US and the UK, is
It's like
expensive.
25, 30%.
It's not-
Yeah.
that's point number one. Point number
Never
one.
cheap anywhere.
Point
If
number
I-
one
if
is
I-
that it's priced for risk. It is priced
Yes.
for risk.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Point number two is the capital markets are deeper. This goes back to the SEC stuff, right? So how do Klarna and credit card companies make money? They don't own the loans or hold them, they securitize. Who do they securitize to? Someone else. Can pension funds right now buy a pool of credit card receivables? No. Right?
They can't.
Really?
They can't.
he won't.
What coming? What coming?
They can't
Coming.
buy.
Yeah, after you capitalize.
Yeah.
So that's point number two. And then finally, I think to your point about legal regime, etc. Like, fine, I get it. It makes sense. It's easy to say, but like, this is part of the problems, right? We've talked about the opportunities in this country. Part of the problems is that, this country is under taxed because also the government haven't figured it out. And if it's identity, if it's whatever, if it's legal systems, I don't know. But that is not the only thing.
Yes.
If that was easier, I don't think the problem would be fixed. I think it's to still do with capital markets. It's to still do with the fact that this thing needs to be priced for risk. And I think you've also seen a lot of, me myself, I've seen a lot of innovation since I've been coming back and forth here for the last few years. It's now easier to obviously make transfers. It's now OPay everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
These guys have also dominated credit.
Yeah.
And so
I like
the
Sparkle.
sector is deepening, right? Okay, it's not fixed, but I think that the levers are more than I think any one legal system or any one whatever.
There are also incentives to doing. So you just spoke about the red system in the UK. The red system in the UK is month on month. In Nigeria is largely annual.
It's the same reason.
No. It's not. It's
It
not.
has
It's,
to be annual because
no,
you're not sure the guy can pay the next month.
That's
There's
the
no
point.
credit.
So the idea is, I'm sure also that they didn't just jump to month on month in the UK. It's graduated. Now, if you are telling people to be good for no subsequent reward, it's so if, for instance,
How do you mean?
so I want to give you. I'm saying if you have good credit scoring, you can get access to month-on-month salary.
Exactly. It's not possible because we don't have credit scoring. That's the whole
Yeah,
point.
that's the exact.
This is
So
why-
what
this is
you're
why
saying.
you're
This is
saying
saying
you
that
should recapitalize.
there must be rewards for being good.
All right, guys, we got to go into buy, sell, or hold. We've done over 90 minutes already. Right, yeah. So time flies on drinks and
Wow.
mics. That's the thing. Yeah, drinks and mics. So buy, sell, or hold. We're going to start first with geopolitics, as usual. So I'm holding your mic for you.
Oh, thank you. Let me hold it. Thank you.
So buy, sell, or hold, and I'm going to start with you, Aum, first. Buy means yes, you agree. Sell means no, you don't. Hold means you're neutral.
Okay.
And forget anything Tunji says. Tunji,
Okay.
Tunji has a way of twisting.
Buy, sell.
Yeah, it comes with us with
Sellish
buy,
hold.
Yeah. You're meant to say one word, but you say it.
Yeah, he does that a lot. So I always tell new guests, ignore him. Right. So buy, sell, or hold. We're gonna start first with one of the first things we talk about was geopolitics. Do you see? Okay, let me rephrase the question because it's not meant to be a question; it's meant to be a statement. It says buy, sell, or hold. That statement. Trump or the U.S. will acquire Greenland in a deal within the next 2 years. Buy, sell, or hold.
Hold with a lean towards. With a lean towards.
Hold his buy. Hold his buy. Hold his buy. Hold his buy.
You know, they give me.
That's not fair.
Some things are not that straightforward.
Either buy, sell, or hold. Don't be like him.
This is my.
Lord have mercy.
This is my hold this buy.
Hold his buy. So what do you buy with a lean to?
I was literally going to say the same thing. So what is in terms of, I was in New Orleans in the summer, right? Like amazing jazz, like beautiful pub, whatever. It's very different to the rest of the South because it was acquired from France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a really interesting JP Morgan report, and it's like a bit of a waste of time, but it was fun when when the Greenland thing came out for the first time. It was talking about the return on equity of the US's historic land acquisitions.
Okay.
Alaska, Louisiana,
Most.
etc.
New York, all
Right?
Yeah.
The
Lots of
US
deals.
was not the US.
Yeah.
And the way that it's grown
Buy.
has been a mix of diplomacy and acquisitions. Now, the reason I said hold is because this is also the guy has solved 8 conflicts and whatever, and is trying to mediate these things and so on. But if you read the letters that he was sending, this is the same thing that other leaders do to their neighbors. This is a test of like, are Europe going to hold the line or not? The NATO thing, are you going to spend more money on your defense or not? Well, actually, I think they caved and he got his way. They're spending a bit more money on defense, right? Are you going to stand up for this thing or not? And will it be a slippery slope? Because they've said you can have your 16 bases. He doesn't want his 16 bases, right? He clearly wants something else. They had 17 bases. They went down to 1. They said, take the other 16 if you want to. He doesn't want that. And so it's a test. And that's why I'm a bit hold. But like, given the US has a history of doing it, given everything that this guy has done in Venezuela and so on, and given it's his second term,
Yeah, buy.
Let's
Yeah.
buy.
Yeah.
So that's a buy.
That's a buy. It's a
hold.
strong buy.
It's a
Strong
buy
buy.
hold.
Relax hold. Yeah, I'm a buy. I think that. I think Trump takes Greenland. I think. Yeah. I mean, what is there to say? What is it?
Wow.
24 months, 2 years, right?
I'm glad. I'm glad
87.
the strength of the Trump.
I think it
is
does.
coming through.
I think it's a hold. I don't think.
So you have no view. That's it. That's the whole. You're neutral.
You're neutral.
Yeah, so Greenland is going to stay Greenland, I think so. But what will happen is they'll definitely have more presence. You know, they'll do some sort of deal, but it's not going to be a full acquisition.
Yeah.
But what's the part acquisition? Denmark owns.
Please, you guys, there has been military envoys sent to Denmark. Just Google how many troops went there. You will be surprised. It will shock you.
Is that one from England, 2 from France? Yeah, something like that. Yeah. They don't care. They don't. They just say Europe.
I'm a strong buy. They will acquire.
Wow.
Yeah. I think.
That's strong.
Anyway, I would. I think it's a sell for me. Yeah, I think it's a sell for me. I think that
Diplomacy wins.
Yeah, I think that Greenland is a bit of a. It's a very huge test case for the world. Yeah, I don't think it's that simple. I don't think that there's any crazy attachment to Greenland like that Europe has. But I think that it's a huge test case for where the world tilts to. So there's a whole lot at stake. I don't even think Americans in total, as a country, are really crazy about Greenland. So it's not like it's a do or die for Americans, right? I don't think it's a do or die for them. I think it's just a small group of Republicans who are quite powerful who want Greenland. And so that's why even if you listen to Trump, he was like, I mean, you can say yes, you can say no. We're not going to force it, but there are consequences for no. And I feel like the consequences for no is if you get attacked, we're probably not going to, back you up, or there's several areas where I kind of feel like that's where it's going to get to. But I think that Europe finds a way to negotiate its way out of this. So that's why it's a sell for me in 2 years. Okay. So buy, sell, or hold the next one. Then I'll start with Tunji, and then I'll go back to SEC's new regulations or recapitalization move gets amended, and then the timeline extended. So it's meant to be August. Amended doesn't mean, remember the first one was an error, the clip was an error that was corrected. So amended is that some of the guidelines what they've put out, they would now roll back. Yeah, and then change some things because people have complained, right? As against them saying, no, we're not changing anything. So buy, sell, or hold, SEC rolls back some of the things that they've put forward and then possibly extends the timeline, buy, sell, or hold. 2 questions in one, actually.
Yeah.
So you can take them as 2 questions.
I think the SEC will, so I am buy, but I don't think they should. I think they will, but I honestly strongly don't think they should. I'm big on strong institutions. I'm big on strong sectors, and I think one of the sectors that needs strength is the Nigerian capital market. We've always continued to talk about how deep South Africa is, and how. So one of the ambitions I have is to list a Nigerian entity on the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
I love that.
But every time I think about it, the thing that comes to me is, Tunji, you must be stupid. But it is important to me to do it because I need my business to be tied into the Nigerian fabric very, very strongly.
Yeah, I'm a strong
So I'm
believer in
already
that.
thinking about it very heavily.
huge believer in
But
that.
again, I keep looking at the depth of the depth of the capital markets. I'm wondering. So we need stronger institutions as a whole. So I think
You think they cave in? So you're
so
buying for
not cave in, but more be
Accommodating.
more accommodating. But I
Yeah.
don't think they should. I think we need a more stronger stance towards the conversation. Yeah, you the capitalization is what everybody was talking about, really. But everything in the guidelines makes sense, you know. So let's go with it. But hey, it's not my primary market.
It's not you don't have a board in this fight.
Yeah, I don't have a board in this fight. If it's my
Don't
regulator,
get
I'll
this fight. Don't get this fight.
I'll
We
be
have a
at
board
the
in
office
this
telling
fight.
them, don't do it, stay.
So sell meaning they don't back down,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So I'll go with the sell. In the history of Nigeria, I've never known any regulator to back down. You know, so what might happen? They might extend the timelines. They might soften on some of the lesser issues, but on the capital requirements, which is the major bone of contention, they're not going to back
No,
down.
they're not, I don't think they will. We've now known that it was an error from 10% to 0.1, so we've agreed about that.
Yeah.
We've moved on. And so that one will not change.
Yes.
It better not change.
Ignore what he says.
Yeah, so
hates me right now.
no. What is it? I think they will revise the guidelines, but I don't think. I think that the if you look at the tier 1, for example, tier 1, if you have more than 20B on the management, you need 5B. I think that the guys who have that 20B plus are big enough to be able to raise 5B. So I don't think they will change the size. They might just extend the timeline. So I think it's the 30th of June 2027. Probably make
How
it
much
2
is
years.
$1 billion?
It's nothing for you in that. You know, and then I think that the market was expecting it up to 2 billion anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that everyone sort of had that 2 billion in mind and in place.
Yeah.
So,
So I don't really think they need to change the size, or they will change the size. They might just extend the time it gives. So
sell for you.
hold this shell. It's a hold shell, right? Hold shell means they revise it by they'll revise it by extending the timeline. But I don't think they change the quantum. I don't think they change the size. I don't think they change the size.
I think so. I don't think they should. And I think that if you consider the people who have number one, in all of my dealings with SEC, they've always been very firm and they're always open to extending. So
Yeah.
if it's an offer period, if it's whatever, etc., they'll always extend.
Yeah.
But they will not change what they've said.
The quantum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The requirements will
Yeah.
be, and the DG is new,
Yeah.
right?
So he has a point to
And
prove.
the DG has been in the SEC for a while.
Yeah.
Well, it's just their news that it's like, you know, this is something that you're making a mark on. It's not as though you're worried about things being reversed. This is a sign of intent. You're going to have to look the same people in the eye for the further
second
things you want
time,
to
yeah.
do. And I think more importantly, anyone who's got the DG or the SEC team's ear in Abuja is not going to be fussed by what's happening. It's the long tail that they're clearing out.
Yeah.
And most people may not have that
The
access
0.01% market share, guys. 0.05, the bottom 20.
Who should ideally be bought up by all the other funds, really?
well, those are the-
Yeah, join the fund. Join the fund and become a bigger
You have to
book.
start
No.
somewhere.
So isn't that how it happens? You show your stuff on the book that you got from the big guy, and then one day you go and start your own book because everybody saw you do it with this guy, and then they trust you enough to give you
Yeah,
that
but
book.
I mean, one thing I agree. I think if I look at the asset management side, I think there are too many players. You know, I do think that there needs to be some sort of consolidation.
Wow.
I've always said with too many asset
started as
managers.
the villain.
No, I agree. I think most people agree. Is everyone there are too many asset managers? The guys that don't understand.
There was one day I was at one signing of one bond issuance, and it was almost like it was the video that was going to play, because the number of people I saw in that hall that day, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
and they were all on one transaction.
Yeah, it's a lot.
In
And there's
one
issuing houses, right? Yeah,
So,
brokers.
but
There's too many.
lawyers plus all that.
Yeah.
Like a million of them. I'm
Yeah,
like,
there's
Jesus.
too many. That one I agree. I think there's too many.
Buy, sell, or hold.
I think that we need to go back to the big business structure.
Yeah.
Let's have big businesses.
The second thing that SEC, I don't know how they can do it, is to fix the association of shareholders.
Keep your ideas to yourself.
Association of
buy
shareholders.
What shareholders? Association of shareholders.
2G is on
Do
a
you know how many
different
shareholder
tangent.
associations we have?
Please. Sell for you. Sell for you. Okay, you said a sell. All right, so last buy, sell, or hold. And I'm starting with you. For this one, also, it's hold for me, though. Hold for me. Yeah, hold for me. Buy, sell, or hold.
So hold as in you don't think they will, or you don't
He's
think
neutral.
I'm neutral.
So no, but in this aspect, how can neutral? What's neutral?
I just want to be.
So they either do or they don't. No, but there's no neutral, right? But it's not neutral.
Wants to give a one word answer.
No, but there's no hold. Is it they either do or they don't? Is it that they do-ish don't?
It's a whole.
They don't-ish do. Tuji, they don't-ish do. Like what is it? Like,
I said hold. Is there anything wrong with hold?
no, but there's no hold.
Please. I never see Arnold.
Or drinks and mic.
I never see Arnold.
Yeah, it's like there's no hold. No, but there's no hold. No, but Richard, there's no hold. You ain't doing enough. You have to tell us what you know.
Okay.
So
Oh my
they do
God.
it or not?
I mean, like, so in my mind, based on the information I have, but as somebody who despises the number of registrars we have,
Yeah.
and the crazy
You need to
number
clear
of
them out.
brokers we have,
Clear them out.
and the fact that I feel a lot of fund managers don't return enough money.
Yeah.
They argue too much. If you want to test fund managers, just pit them against each other. Like we do this in on our metrics, top fund managers of the year or top financial fund. And then you see them calling up and down. We're number one,
My name
we're
should
number
be
two,
there.
we're there, we're this, we're there. And what's the return? 18%, 21%, 22%, all in fixed income securities.
Yeah.
For that reason,
But I think
it's
the
that,
regulator should
it's
also
a
try
sell.
and tackle that, right? So I haven't.
I mean, I don't know. The regulator's business is not to determine what. I don't think it's how you want to take risk. But I feel like if you have a skin in the game, then you have no choice but to take risk. We want deeper markets. We want, And you've seen what has happened. I don't want to mention names. We've seen some very good, broker dealers, fund managers that have come in and have changed things. Some of them fairly new, 5-6 years.
The question
Yeah.
is, since the last
Yeah.
regime in 2012, how many of these people have made that in retained earnings and then paid it to themselves?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Probably
Apart
all
from
of them.
that, too, how many of you see offers and you see a lot of issue analysis and nobody's on the writing anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how are you an issue house and you're not on the
Not
writing
on the
offer?
writing.
You're convincing me to come and invest in this IPO or this public offer. We had a meeting recently with a company.
Well,
that
I guess that's
listed-
why some of these
that
guys have
listed
asset
last year.
managers, right? So the asset
Yeah,
manager will
there was
underwrite
one
it.
that listed
The
last
asset
year. And it was
manager
like,
underwrites it for you.
this guy,
Yeah,
this issue
understand,
this issue house forced me to list. They were the one that said I should come on list and blah 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 blah.
But they're not supporting
I'm
it.
looking at my
They're not supporting.
this thing.
Your valuation is-
It's not fully subscribed. And they've collected all the fees. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I think that sometimes we gotta look at ourselves in the mirror and say, come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
There's a lot of work.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that there are a lot of serious guys out there, serious
Yes,
businesses.
Yeah.
So this is not to denigrate
No, of
anyone.
course.
No, of
There's
course
a lot
not.
of
No,
very
of course
serious
not.
guys
Yeah,
there
yeah.
who probably need time to grow
Yeah.
and all that. So
Yeah.
I also think that SEC needs to take that into consideration, right? Everybody can be bigger one day. Right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
there's
yeah.
got to
You
be
have to
room
start
for
somewhere.
upstarts
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that and all that. I wish that
You
we
have
had
to step up to step
I
up
wish
to
that we
step
had
up
an
to step up.
NASD that was where we thought it should have been, because that's where a lot of the smaller brokers should have been playing in.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
In
Yeah, the small cap.
Smaller
Small
or
cap.
ASM and
Exactly,
all that.
that's a
Yeah,
good
but
point.
we don't have
Yeah.
that. So yeah, so
NASD, let's talk. Let's talk. I am begging. Let's talk.
we want to
Let's
talk NASD
Yes.
at some point. All right, so
have-
we're gonna go to the last buy sell hold. I'm gonna start with you first, Tunji, and then I'll come back to buy sell or hold. It's a different buy sell or hold, though.
Okay.
Yeah, not something we talked about today, but something that someone brought to mind that I heard somewhere. I was like, oh. Someone said that the NGX would do more than what it did last year. So we might be seeing a 150 trillion market cap in 2026. So buy, sell, or hold, NGX market cap hit 150 trillion 2026. Buy, sell, or hold.
I buy, but in spite of the NGX.
Is what?
Okay, it's not because of NGX. It's because of what's valuation and
Why?
Economy,
Macro.
macros.
Yeah, okay.
I buy, but in spite
But
of
is it the
the
NGX that is meant to be the one marketing?
I'm saying
Is it their
that
job to market companies, really? Somebody asked me that. There was somebody I told, I was like, maybe NGX needs to do more. They were like, it's not the NGX job to do that, though.
So what is the NGX job?
They're just
I'm confused. I'm
just
really
a trading-
confused.
yeah, the
No, but
trading platform.
they should cut companies.
How
to
do they
come.
cut? Are they cut? It's not the job of brokers. Why do you have
No,
brokers?
NGX has
No.
to. They're also
How are they meant to do
they are
that?
shareholders. They're a limited company.
Yeah.
They have to deliver returns.
Yeah.
They need to operate not like a government,
Yeah.
but like a business.
Yeah.
And they need to show depth, which is by attracting more companies. So they have a
So
role.
that
So
there
what's
should be
the
more
job of brokers
liquidity on the market.
So what's the job of brokers issuing houses? What's the work? What's the job?
Issuing houses.
Yeah, and brokers.
Those are the people that do the deals.
That's what I'm saying.
Brokers trade.
So shouldn't they be
There
the one
should be a
writing
reason
deals?
why I'm doing
Shouldn't
the
there be the
deals
one
in the
bringing
first place?
deals to the market?
Yes, they will bring the deals to the market, but the person who moves to ensure the depth of the market as a whole.
The NGX job is make sure that you have an engine that
So I-
works.
so-
You trade it- hold on now.
Okay.
I'm playing devil's advocate here because that
Yes.
I was
so
on
what
your
you are
side
saying,
of this
what you are
argument.
saying is that the
And the argument was
NGX
that
is
it's a market facilitator, right? Or what was that
a
official word for
software.
them? No. So there's this official word for them. Anyway, for what
Is
the
a
word-
regulated.
No, they're not even a regulator. It's a market facilitator, right? So they provide the market, the engine, the rules, the guidelines that allows a market to operate. NASDAQ is not the one who tells Facebook you need to list. NASDAQ is not the one that will go and tell OpenAI you need to list. So the point of what they were telling me is that that's not their job. It doesn't mean that they shouldn't do part of that.
Okay.
But the job of the person who should get companies, convince companies to come on the list on an exchange,
So, I have
are
been-
issuing houses. And if you look at it, some of the companies that have listed of recent have also listed, from a few guys that I've spoken to, they've listed because the private equity investors are in there, want to exit.
Erdo. Yeah.
Yeah, and for them to exit, they've got a list.
And by the way,
So-
I have nothing but love for the NGX, but let me say this.
Yeah.
I've been using this analogy a lot, and I think it's great.
Remember, we're on buy, sell, or hold. So as we're going into,
All right, so let me say this.
We're pivoted, but go on.
The EPL, the European Premier League,
Okay.
doesn't cut any football club from coming, right? Doesn't actually say, Chelsea, come and start from the Championship or wherever they start from and come into the Premier League, right?
Yeah.
What the EPL does is the EPL packages the product
Yeah.
and makes it a worldwide service
So
that
you're saying that's
is
the job of the NGX.
that is selling TV rights,
So it sells
that is
itself.
selling merchandising. So because of this product, the EPL has
the
sold,
platform. Yeah. Every club wants to go on it.
20 clubs fight every year to remain.
Okay.
Three
so
fights
that's your
to
point. So
enter.
the NGX is not okay. I couldn't-
Exchanges
I
are
couldn't
often
agree
listed
with that.
businesses.
I agree with you
know, in
100%.
Angola, they listed the
Yeah.
exchange as a business
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, John.
that's what I
That's the
said,
point.
that-
I agree with
yeah.
you. So they're not doing a lot of marketing.
Yeah, so once again, they get paid from companies
my
being
goodness.
listed.
Yeah.
So you have to
So why are they
you have-
getting
you have to
paid
earn
if
that
they don't
money.
do anything?
You can't just sit down and wait for
My
people
kids
to
is
come.
falling off.
You know,
Sorry.
Yeah, good point. Anyway, buy, sell, or hold. 150 trillion. You already.
I've said it. I said buy, but
Buy.
in spite
It's not
of
because
them,
of what they will do.
Not because of them.
All right, Tony,
Yeah.
what do you think? Buy, sell, or hold?
yeah, I think buy.
You think we do 150 trillion?
I think so, and that's going to be because of new listings. So perhaps Dangote, refinery, NNPC. So I mean, if those ones come, those are major capitalized entities.
Not because
Our bar list, please, don't
You
say,
listen to 2026?
don't take it against me, because I've.
Hopefully, Nairametrics
my
will
mind.
list.
Say that again.
Buy, sell, or
We
hold.
want to show my Nairametrics.
Buy, sell, or hold.
What was the
NGX
market cap?
hitting-
NGX
market cap?
hits 150 trillion.
What is it now? Like 60?
Is that
No,
100 now?
100.
100?
Yeah.
Yeah, 50 is fine. Yeah, it's
We did
possible.
50% last year.
Yeah,
Well, we did almost.
So I think
almost
I
50%.
actually think performance-wise, the NGX outperformed. Does better 2026 than it did 2025. Yeah, I think there's a lot more
150 trillion, buy, sell, or
upside.
hold.
Buy.
Buy.
Yeah, buy. I mean, like, I'm here to set up my account. That's just me personally. Like the truth is, flows have not come in. Flows have not come in. Like if people recognize after Aradel has done this acquisition, right, it may be able to do what Seplat did, but Seplat was dual listed and had more liquidity and had better coverage. Why should it not do the same thing? If people see the FMCG space doing better, like the Kellogg's and Cadbury's and whatever, like 100%, like buy. Yeah.
All right, guys, this has been Drinks and Mics, but
Buy, sell, hold.
what's wrong? I don't like.
I'm attentive today. I've had some whiskey. I'm ready.
Anyway, I'm buying as well. But before I let you guys go, we got a lot of, number of things I want to talk about before I let you guys go. But quick one first. I think Tunji has an announcement to make as well.
Yes.
But we're gonna get there first. But we're gonna get there last, rather. But let me get your views quickly. I'll start with you, Tunji. So I always want to do this on Drinks and Mics. Any parting shot to our, to the guys watching? Is it parting shot? Could be what are you investing in? It could be what book are you reading? What movie are you watching? What new thing have you heard that you think is important for people to learn about? Parting shots.
So I have been, and don't hate me. I've been diving deeper into more Eastern religions.
Okay. Hello.
More what?
Eastern religions. That's my
Yeah. And honestly, it's just taking the steps around,
Eastern religion. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Middle Eastern
Voodoo,
religions.
voodoo, voodoo,
No. Don't worry, just leave it as it is. But the context is really around
sacrificing
just being a lot more at peace with my center as a being, and also.
Your wife knows this though.
This is how you know he's made money. So it's a general rule that when someone has to make money, they go east for religion. Right? Everyone goes east, right? They go east. It's a thing. It's actually a thing.
What he's saying.
It's a thing.
But what
you've heard it, right?
Where I'm going to
is
it's also the audacity of what we're doing. Just thinking bigger, trying to. But when I give the announcement, you probably understand. So yeah.
All right.
I understand why.
Well, there's a lot going on in the world right now. I guess it's a scary time. So I'll say, take care of your mental health.
Yeah.
Take care of
Very
your
important.
spiritual and just stay focused.
Okay. I know.
Man, I don't know what to say.
What are you like?
What am I doing?
Yeah. What are you doing now? Like, what's interesting to you?
The same things that I've always been doing. Buy low, sell high. With people, with stocks, with relationships, with everything. Buy low, sell high. What else? I'm still golfing on the Sundays when I can to help de-stress.
Okay. Taking it easy.
Taking it easy. Right. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
No, not much. Well, reading. I'm reading a book called Harsh Times by Mario Vargas Llosa. He was president of Peru. He's an author from there, and it's about the CIA's coup in Guatemala, right? So they had the banana company, United Fruit, that was a huge revenue driver for the US, and it seems timely right now. And yeah, I texted Arnold actually last week, because I was trying to find, there's a Lekki bird club.
Ah, of course, the bird watching.
They actually go nature bird watching across Nigeria. Because, every time you come on the weekends, you don't know what to do and you end up partying. And I'm like, I don't want to party. I want to go and see nature. I want to do something interesting, etc. And so I made it my mission to reach out to them, and now I'm in touch with one of them
well
through
done.
the power of LinkedIn.
Well done.
And
so
final
when you go
one.
bird watching, when you...
And when he replies to my message, I got in touch. I'm not. They didn't reply. And finally, I think I always get told off on these things for not. TLGcapital.com. We lend money to mid-market businesses in Africa. I think what we're doing is very interesting. So please reach out if that's
all right. So reach out.
Yeah, sorry. NoltFinances.com as well. Reach out.
So for me, what I'm doing is what am I doing? I think, I've been.
Tough question. It's a tough question. It's hard.
What am I doing? What am I doing? Yeah, a lot of geopolitics. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm immersing myself in a lot of geopolitics. lately. I think I'm trying to get subscriptions for a number of platforms just to really try to understand what's going on. It's part of my job as well. Anyway, so doing that a lot. And then reading books. There's one I have here as
There's
well.
an app called Trump Watcher.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. I
There's
just
even an
subscribed
app
to
that just tracks all Trump's tweets from a few years ago. But I read a book as well.
started
It's called
following
Art of Strategy. Very interested in strategy as well. Something that I really love doing. I just like how people think through things and get things done. So I've been reading that Art of Strategy. It's a book I'm reading. So that's what I'm doing my pastime.
Market needs to buy it.
Yeah. What did you say?
Capital Market needs to buy it. The book.
Out of strategy.
Yeah.
Leave us alone now. Leave us
That's all
alone.
I've been
Leave
doing.
us
All right,
alone.
guys. So Tunji has a message, and then something you're launching.
So hi, Tunji Andrews here. I lead the team at our bar. So two things. It's not just so the app. Now you can go to the Google Apple Store. We've always had it, but now the app is equipped with the fact that you can sign up to Naira pensions, you can sign up to dollar pensions. But it's not just the app, it's the infrastructure. So now you can go anywhere in the country. By the time you see this video, you'll be able to register to dollar pensions on any MoneyPoint POS across the country. You can also pay on any MoneyPoint POS across the country. You can set up direct debits. Just lock in your card today and it continues to do that and you don't have to worry about that. Shout out to Dennis and his team, CEO of Team App, fantastic guy. I think we should have him on the show. But here's the thing, right? We have, our goal is to do 5 million active users this year, and we're actively engaging agents across the 36 states of the country. So if you would like to be an agent with our bar, hit us up. We pay the best commissions in the market. We're not just hiding it. But if you have a contributory pension scheme this with the CTS and you want to have a side personal pension plan also, this is now available to you. If you've exited the country, you've jackbarred, you are here, you want to do that, we now can set up everything for you. So if you want to talk about anything pensions, just hit us up.
All right. Any shameless plug for you as well? Because
this is not shameless. I do. By the way, sorry. Let me also say this. We are now an.
Because you asked him, so he gets to his own.
Our bar now is an accredited pension agent. The only one in Nigeria.
He hasn't watched it for us yet.
First in Nigeria.
He hasn't watched it for
those two things I'm super proud of because my team have been working since 2021 to
you
make
can
this
see
happen.
the QR code, so you can scan and download the app. What's up? Any plug for you?
Yeah, well, so Nolt Finance, we're launching our app as well. It's going to be on the Play Store, Google Play Store, Apple Play Store, Apple Store. And it's going to be a fantastic app. It's going to have, bill payments. It's going to have ability to take loans, fixed money, fantastic interest rates, some of the best that you can find in Nigeria. So, just watch out for it. This quarter.
Stockbrokers,
any plug for you as well?
How to do app.
Any plugs? If we're plugging, I might as well plug. So RC Asset Management, subsidiary of Renaissance Capital Africa. Africa's alternative asset manager.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any plug for you?
I think I did mine.
Anyway, my whole plug is subscribe, like, follow Drinks and Mics. Next week's gonna be another interesting episode. We're gonna get another special guest for you guys. It's been fun hanging out with the gangs. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Until we do this again next week, you guys stay cool, stay safe. Do have a profitable day ahead. Bye.